what we do here is go back.
And hopefully we're live. You never know, we might be. Good evening, Mike here, Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. It is Saturday the 23rd of November 2024. Hopefully you're all having a great evening and hopefully you can all hear and or see me. I'm not too sure if my mic is working actually. Where's my mouse gone? 1 2 1 2, testing. All good, all synced, excellent stuff. It is working, fan-dabby-dozy. Very little in the way of preparation for tonight's stream. I do apologise in advance, so please make sure your comments and questions are coming thick and fast, otherwise I'll run out of things to say and I'll lose my voice, which is never a good idea. In a moment here, hopefully we should be okay. There is a little bit of a storm brewing up here in the southwest of the United Kingdom and elsewhere. People are having it considerably worse than we are, but it's pretty windy and potentially we may have outages. May lose power, it's unlikely, but just warning you, if it happens for any reason, then that's more than likely what has happened, because it's been absolutely persisting down here today and it's been very windy since around about, I don't know, maybe 10 o'clock last night. Went to bed last night and all I could hear was just howling of wind around the chimneys and any windows which were slightly open, letting a bit of ventilation. So it's been horrendous, but hopefully you're all doing well. Fed, watered, relaxed, nice and warm wherever you are. And I should also say as well, happy birthday to David Underhill, who is 70 years young today, or possibly yesterday because he's in Australia, so I never quite work out how those days work, but happy birthday to David. Hopefully you've had a great day. 70. Wow, that's a fantastic age, it really is. James Miscellaneous says no prep needed. You're absolutely right. Good. Excellent stuff. So yeah, you can hear me and see me. Just check the overhead camera is working. Yeah, you can see that. You can see my cup of tea. Well, cup of fake coffee is still working. I just realised I've got Rick's chat message on the screen, so let's quickly clear that. And streaming desktop, so desktop screen, yep, so you can see that. Excellent stuff. There we go. Back to the main camera. Everything seems to be working. I think my Steam Deck buttons are working now. They seem... Oh, saying that. No. That didn't work then. Didn't it work? Oh yeah, it's coming up in the chat, isn't it? I was expecting it to come up on the screen as well. It doesn't unless I click on it. Silly me. Has that worked? Yes, it has. So don't forget, if you are planning on doing any shopping online, or maybe you want to treat yourself to a new mouse pad, anything like that, don't forget we have got links in the video description. It all helps go towards supporting the channel. I know for everybody at the moment things are tight, so anything you can do to help us out is massively appreciated. So even just by clicking on an extra link so we get a little bit of affiliate commission is very welcome. So thank you very much for those of you that do continue to do that and also continue to support the channel in various other ways. Yeah, you guys are absolutely fantastic. And I'll start off before we go into the main video proper. We are announcing more giveaways. So we've already got 2 giveaways, one of which is live at the moment. So if you head over into the video description, look in the chat there. Not the chat, look into the video description. The giveaway for the MSI monitor, which was very kindly donated by Colin Hilton. This video is now live, so you can head over to the video. If you want to be entered into the draw to win this, all you need to do is go to the video and put the word win into your comment, and the random comment picker will pick up that word, because that's going to be one that I associate with it, and then you'll be into the draw to win this fantastic little portable monitor. So thank you very much to Colin Hilton for that. The Lian Li 207 video has been done and will be out very shortly. So that is also from Colin Hilton, so thank you very much indeed. And not to be outdone, Andy Archer, the lovely man that he is, also wanted to donate some items for a giveaway. So we have got the fantastic Corsair IQ Link H100i RGB, which we've got here, still in the cellophane. So we're taking a little look at that this evening, and this will also be up for a giveaway. So if you are fancying a new CPU cooler for your new system build possibly, or maybe for an existing one, you just want to upgrade it a little bit, this will also be available for a giveaway. And if that wasn't enough, Andy Archer, bless his heart, also has provided us with a Amazon gift card voucher to the value of £30, which we'll also be doing in a giveaway. So maybe we'll do that as like a runners-up prize for possibly the iLink AIO. Not too sure exactly how that's going to go yet. This only come in, I think, Thursday or Friday this week, so I'm still kind of working out how that's going to work, but the giveaways are piling up. So if you are wanting to be involved, make sure you follow us on the socials and keep an eye on what we're doing, or just follow the live streams. We'll give you all the information there. But more importantly, if you watch the videos, the information will be there with the links and all that kind of usual stuff. So that is that out of the way. Thank you, Colin and Andy. Much appreciated. And again, thanks to everybody who contributes with your memberships, your Patreon support, super chats, all that kind of stuff. You guys are absolutely amazing, and it does help out. And yeah, I suppose we should get the super chats done as well. We'll have a look at that, and then I'll look at some of your chat to make sure that everything is working as intended, which hopefully it will be. If I can just get my chat up, let's have a scroll down through what we've got here. So first of all, there was Rick H with a $5 super chat. Disco, disco, disco. Thank you very much, Rick. Much appreciated. I sent a message to Rick. Can't think what it was. No, it escapes me. Can't remember what it was. So thank you much, Rick. Also from another Rick Lakes, with another $5 super chat. Thank you very much. And Rick says hi. Hi to you. How you doing? Is that you on there? Your little profile picture? I'm trying to work out if you... Are you rocking a bald head there? If you are, welcome. Welcome to the club. Can't really see there. It's a bit small on the monitor. What else? Is there another one?
I haven't got that for you.
I think that might have been it. Yes, that is it for now. Excellent stuff. So yeah, lots of things been going on. Obviously, unless you've been living under a rock, you'd have noticed that it is Black Friday month. At least it sort of seems like that. Sales have been going on basically, I think, pretty much since the kind of back to school era in late August, early September. And it doesn't seem to have kind of abated much. We are seeing some slightly unscrupulous sellers raising prices so they can reduce them for sales prices, which I've spoken about before, which is absolutely terrible. But hopefully tonight on the stream, we'll go through some of the picks that we found this week, both myself and also some of our Discord members who posted them into our Discord. If you're not already a member of our Discord and you want to keep an eye out for bargains, now I will say, obviously, this is a UK channel. Predominantly in the Discord, it's UK people. There are some from elsewhere, and you're more than welcome. And if you want to start doing American and Australian and German and whatever deals you want to do for various countries around the world, you're more than welcome to post them there. But predominantly they are UK-based deals. So yeah, that is one of the things of being in the UK. But if you do want to be involved, or you do want to know about these deals when they come out, head over to our Discord, go into the Bargains No Chat room, and you'll see all the bargains which people have found, which we've found as well. And possibly more importantly for us, the links will be often converted into an affiliate link. So if you want to help support the channel, the links will be actually Amazon affiliate links for the UK. So making a purchase even if it's not related. So maybe you're just buying toothpaste, toilet roll, some, I don't know, some stationery, some shopping, your Morrison shopping, your Co-op shopping, whatever. If you go in, first of all, from one of our affiliate links, we do get a small commission from those things. So if you think to yourself, I really want to help Mike and Kath out, they're pretty cool, but I don't have the money to give them a direct contribution, use the affiliate links, and basically that'll be, well, fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. It doesn't cost you anything more other than the fact of looking for the links and clicking on them. So other than that, that is pretty much it. So that is my my shield tubing done. Got that out of the way. Like I said, hopefully you're all having a I was thinking actually it's quite cold in here, but I've actually looked at the temperature. It's actually quite warm. But we've got our wood burner. We actually got some logs this week. One of our local friends who's actually into computers and stuff, been in contact with him for many years, and he also now has a business selling firewood and accessories. So Kingswood Logs, if you're in the Bristol area and you want some good quality logs at very good prices delivered to your door, you can hit up Mark, and yeah, he'll deliver it to you at very good prices. And very impressed. I've got a mixture of oak and beech logs, and they're great. The beech logs burn a little bit hotter, a little bit less time, but they do run hotter. Give up really, really nice heat and very little smoke or popping or crackling, which is excellent. And also the oak logs are great as well. They burn a little bit cooler, but they do last a little bit longer, which is great. So it means you spend less money keeping your house warm, which is cool.
And I spend less time cutting wood.
Yeah, and Kath doesn't have to be out in the garden cutting woods because she's still not very well. She's still a little bit under the weather. So
I've had a rough week.
She's not been great. So there you go. There's David Underhill. I was just seeing him in the chat. Says good morning from a sunny downtown Australia. How you doing? And happy birthday. I did mention it earlier, but you possibly missed it.
Before we go any further, what about Rasher, about his thing being returned?
What about it?
What are you going to say?
I've already messaged him directly.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, Kath was just saying there, we did send out some gifts to various people that have been like long-term supporters or patrons or whatever. The Mike's Unboxing pen. Now we have had one come back where the customs wouldn't allow it into the country for some bizarre reason. So apologies for that. I guess it's slightly our fault because we did put on there that it was a gift and it was a pen. Now being the pen also has a torch in it and it contains its own battery, which you can't remove. So maybe we should have said it was a torch. I don't know. But anyway, customs sent it back. So unfortunately, we're going to have to try and rework that. Yeah, no idea what's going on there. But anyway, there you go. And yeah, it's really good to see so many of you in the chat tonight. We've currently got over 100 concurrent viewers, which is awesome. So either there is absolutely F-all on TV, or you're generally... Oh God, my chair dropped then. There's an instant blooper. I'm going to put my chair back up a bit, actually. My back feels like it's on the verge of going. That's moving too many logs. They're actually quite heavy. Someone said there, Mark Barry says, Storm Bert, maybe the next one we could. Ernie. Wouldn't that be great if we had Storm, Bert and Ernie? Hey Bert. There is actually a video of a Boya mic set where at the end I was a bit delirious and I got the little foamies on the top of the microphones and I had the two microphones talking to each other and they were called Bert and Ernie. So there's a little bit of a kind of a bit of a blooper type
But nobody
thing.
commented on it.
No one's ever mentioned it. No one's ever, I guess no one's ever seen it. No one watches to the end of videos, do they? But if you do watch to the end of videos, quite often there are actually comedic moments.
Not quite often.
Well, sometimes, yeah. Normally it's comedic after I finish, because like, thank God that's done. Or I let a big... No, I'm not going to say that again. Kath's turning the lights on, so that can mean only one thing.
Shut up, Mike, and do the super chat.
I don't know what it is. The Ordinary Dude. Thank you very much, Ordinary Dude. Let's give us $5 as well. It says, greetings from Mississippi, USA. Mississippi, one of the hardest words to spell when you're a kid.
It's not. Mrs.
How many S's are actually in it?
Used to be a little rhyme.
Miss I-S-S-I-P-P-I.
Mrs. M. Mrs. I.
Thank you very much for the donation there. It's much appreciated. So, Kenny D's in the house as well. David Underhill, 16.5 degrees Celsius here. It's actually 24.3 degrees Celsius. Normally in here it's about 22 degrees, but we've had the wood burner go in. I dread to think what the temperature is in the other room. It's a good, probably 5, 6, maybe even 7 degrees warmer in the other room. So it's in the 30s in the front room. It's really, really warm in there. And you can feel it as you're walking down the stairs. You can just feel the heat going up through the stairway. It's wonderful. And it's a really nice heat, isn't it? For those of you that are lucky enough to have a wood burner, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a really nice heat. With radiators and central heating, it's that kind of really dry, it's not really a nice heat. But from a proper wood burner, yeah, it's a really nice heat. Anyway, moving on. So let's have a quick look through the chat, see what you guys are saying. And we'll talk about some deals. We've got some deals, which I've actually, even though I'm going to be putting links in the videos, and also we're talking about it tonight, I've actually gone ahead and bought some of these things already. So if you're looking for M.2 storage, at the moment, these Fixwot drives, now I know a lot of people say, oh, it's a Chinese drive, blah, 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 blah. Please, get over yourselves. These drives are actually pretty decent. I've owned, I'm trying to think how many I've added these. If I looked up on Amazon, I could probably find out. I'm guessing Fixwot drives now I've probably had, must be in double figures. It must be. The 1 terabyte drives, I bought at least 4 in one go previously on Black Friday because they were such a good deal. And back then, I think it was £40 for a terabyte. This was a year or so ago. Whereas now you can get the 2 terabyte version. So this is the FX550. Again, if you're watching this, the links are in the video description. If you click on them and you're not in the UK, it will just convert it and go to America or whatever your local Amazon is. So you can still use the links and you might still find good prices. Fixwot, I think, are available pretty much globally, all across our flat earth. And yeah, 2 terabyte drive, PCI Express Gen 3 x4. I believe, I do have to double check this, but I believe these are TLC rather than QLC. And they use host buffer memory, which is absolutely fine. But I believe they've also got SLC cache also. So actually pretty decent drives. 2 terabytes at the moment, I believe it's £66 and change. Might be 67 now, but normally you're paying like 40 quid for a terabyte here in the UK. So a 2 terabyte drive for basically 66 quid, these are awesome. Now the last time I looked before we started the stream, these are getting limited in stock. So if you want one, you're gonna have to be quick. I'm probably gonna try and order a couple more tomorrow, because at this sort of price, it's fantastic. And also, if you're thinking of shopping online at the moment, wherever you are in the world, Amazon have got a thing on. So if you purchase any item at the moment as part of the Black Friday deals, and the price is cheaper at any time up until, I think it's the 3rd or the 6th of December, they will automatically refund the difference. So you don't have to get involved, you don't have to phone up or go to online chat and speak to somebody and say, look, I'm going to send this back, or I want it at the reduced price. So basically, you're guaranteed to get the best price. If you buy it now, you get a good price. If it goes down even more, you get an even better price because you'll automatically get it refunded. So do check out the links in the video description. I think this is absolutely phenomenal. And actually later in the video, I want to test this and see what its weaknesses are. If you want to see that, let us know in the chat. Do you want to see what the problem is with this drive? Because it's got a 5-year warranty, which is nuts. It's £66. £66.
Satanic.
Very satanic, but very cheap. Thank you for the super chat, whoever that was.
Super chatter,
Or it might be a super sticker, so have a look.
I think it's member. I
can't see. Ordinary dude. Oh, there we go, Gary. Gary Sikat. I can never pronounce that. I'm sorry, Gary. Gary S. He's been a member for 36 months. Celebrating 3 years as a member. God bless you, Gary, and all those that sail in you. We salute you. Thank you very much for your continued support.
The deals are from UK.
Yes, I did mention that.
Oh, dear. Cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't multitask anymore.
Actually, let us know. Is Fixwot available in other countries? If you're in another country, Skystalker, you're in Canada. We've got Aletta, she's in the USA. I'm trying to think who else I know. Gary, I believe, is in the USA as well. So let us know in the chat. Are Fixwot drives available?
I put a link in for Amazon.
For Amazon US. Yeah. I got you.
I don't know about the prices.
I get you. Actually, yeah, Fixwot is available in North America, says Skystalker. So keep an eye out. Let us know, actually, if you've got access to Amazon over in the US. Let us know if the pricing is looking pretty favourable on these drives. I really like them. I got a little bit of stick from another YouTuber for using these drives, and they've actually converted and they're using them now because they actually kind of sell PCs and do refurbishments and whatever, upgrades. And yeah, they're buying Fixwot drives as well now. There's a couple of other brands as well. There's Fixwot and there is Ilpida or something, ILIPDA or something. Those are pretty good as well. But the Fixwot ones I have come to very much trust. Probably put my eggs in one basket there, but I think they're pretty decent. Let me know what your thoughts are on them. Scroll down.
Open your Discord as well.
Oh.
Put stuff in there.
Cass putting stuff in
I'm
Discord.
Up to date on the comments now, so if anyone's got any questions I've missed, please put them in.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, if there's anything you would like to see or hear or have mentioned, let us know in the Discord as well, and I will try and get onto that as well. Sunny147 has commented in the chat saying that accent reminds me of 3 happy years at Brunel College in Horfield in the 90s. Could tell some stories from the Hobgoblin on Glossy Road. Glossy Road is Gloucester Road. Gloucester Road is a pretty big thing in Bristol. So it goes from basically the centre of town, underneath what used to be the council offices, which is now the 4107 building, or is it 5107? Never remember. It's basically a building. Gloucester Road goes all the way from the city centre, all the way up through kind of slightly run down area. Then it goes into like the shopping area. It gets to a point where it goes in towards Horfield, then Bishopston, and that's kind of like borderline, well, expensive territory going towards Clifton, and it goes on up further, all the way up through to basically almost towards Cribbs Causeway. So it's a massive stretch of road. Gloucester Road in Bristol, look it up, it's like BS7 and BS8, I think. It stretches through BS1, BS7, BS8, goes all the way through. Huge, huge road. I actually worked on Gloucester Road, 218 Gloucester Road, in fact, which was the old M Squared computer store. I think, was it 218? Was that the old one or the new one?
No idea.
Because they moved. I think 218 was the old one. I can't remember. It's such a long time ago. But yeah, Gloucester Road is a very cool place. Hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of students in that area. So every September, or sort of late August, September, you'd have all the new students moving into the area. They'd come down to M Squared and they'd be like, we need a wireless router. Okay? How many people are going to be accessing your internet? Oh, 16. Right, okay. How many floors have you got? And of course, in Gloucester Road, Bishopston, those kind of areas, most of the houses are like really old houses, built probably, I'm going to say, at the kind of turn of the century. A lot of them are very big, like grand houses. So 3, 4, sometimes even 5 stories. And they'd be like, right, we're going to put a router in the basement and we want everyone to get Wi-Fi. It's like, this is not going to go well. This is going to get returned. I always used to say to them, would you like to take a couple of 100 meters of network cable with you as well? They're like, oh, no, it'd be fine, it'd be fine. It's like, okay, see you later. And they would come back. Those were good times. We used to get so busy in the shop. That was a really, really good boom time because broadband was just becoming a real thing. So like, I think back then it would have been either maybe 1, maybe 2 megabyte. So this is kind of the very early cable modems. So we've gone from dial-up, which was like 56k, or ISDN 128k. Sometimes if you're lucky you can have like bonded ISDN, I think, which is 256. But if you really wanted the proper internet speeds, like 512 and 1 megabyte, maybe even 2 megabyte, you had to have a cable service. And yeah, people would come into the area, the landlord would put in the Wi-Fi or the broadband box, and that was it. And then they'd come into us and literally queues out of the door, down the street, towards the pub. It was just insane times. Just router after router after router. Like, what broadband have you got? Virgin Media. Okay, one of these. Yep, Virgin Media. Yep, one of these. It was based that all day long.
Is the goblin still there? I guess not.
I think it is. I'm not too sure. I haven't been there in a very long time. But anyway, thanks Sonny for sending me back down to memory lane. Also, George Dell just says, just upgraded my 3600 to a 5700 X3D after watching your uploads on the process. Thanks so much. Made it so easy. Bravo and subscribe. Cheers, sir. Thank you, George. Much appreciated. And Ordinary Dudes asked, Mike, do you get opportunities to review mini PCs? Funny enough, I had a email this week from Ace Magic, who have just got their new Intel N150 quad-core chips, which is based on the new Alder Lake setup. They've got some new ones coming out, and they've asked if we wanted to review one. So yes, I will. I'll be checking that out. And looks like Gary's posted in there. Fixwot 2TB is $102 on Amazon US. So how does that compare with the kind of more well-known brands like your kind of Samsungs, your Corsairs, Crucial, those types of drives? Be interested to see, obviously Western Digital and stuff like that. That doesn't sound terrible, but it's hard to say. I never quite know how the exchange rate works fully, because you've got your local taxes and things like that as well. Whereas here in the UK, for those of you outside of the UK and don't kind of know how pricing works, in the UK you pay what is called VAT, or value added tax, which is 20%, but it's automatically added on everywhere. So the price that you see, unless you're in a trade outlet, is going to be the price that it is. So you don't get any sales tax at the tills or at the checkout or any kind of supplementary taxes. We don't have like a state and federal taxes, none of that stuff. It's just a universal value added tax, which is added to pretty much everything apart from, I think, possibly children's clothes and possibly books, maybe a couple of other things, niche things, but generally pretty much anything you buy, every store, all the prices will always be included of all the taxes. So the sticker price you see on the shelf is what you pay at the till. John David Sullivan says, from last week, I didn't go for the MSI Gungnir case in the end. As reviews said, it was better with an IO, so I went with the Montec King 95 Pro. Fantastic case. Awesome stuff. And Jason Woods is asking, Mike, have you done any more 3D printing? I have not. It's been a weird time because with Kath being ill, I've been like, I have a bad back and chest infection type thing, all that kind of stuff. Having the wood burner installed, the work done on the house, etc. It's been a really weird time trying to get back into a groove and getting videos done. So no, sadly, I haven't done any more 3D printing. I almost had a need for it the other day because I lost one of the little plastic catches on the Sunny Side Up Designs Meshroom D case, which we reviewed, the little grey one. And the side panels push on. There's like little plastic clips. A lot of Lian Li cases, Thermaltake cases. I guess most cases these days, the ones where you've got the little metal push pin, and you kind of push the panels closed. You've got these little plastic latches in there, which are a little bit brittle and sometimes fall out. And I lost one of those. And I was like, damn, where did that go? Couldn't find it in here anywhere, because I was having a bit of a clear out. Couldn't find it at all. And I was like, I better print one of those. So I'm thinking, right, I'll look back in my mind, I'll look for one of those, see if I can find it, and I'll print out a new one. Weirdly, I don't know why, I didn't recognise it before. I looked in the bag, the accessories for the case, and I couldn't see that there was any spares. So I was like, oh, that sucks. But then I looked in the bag again after, I must have had a man look, and there was 3 or 4 spares in there. So that saved me having to 3D print. But it's nice to have the printer there just in case. So it's something I'm hoping to try and do more of. I do need to get that set up, finalised and put somewhere. I actually need somewhere to put the 3D printer. I'm thinking possibly I'm going to have it in here, but then if it's running all day long and I'm trying to film a video, it's a little bit of a problem. So I need to find somewhere to put it so I can actually get access to it and use it.
Chuck the air fryer out and put it there.
Yeah, we'll get rid of the air fryer and put a 3D printer there. Air fryers are useless. Back me up on this, someone in the chat, please.
But then we cook with fat. Maybe that's why. We don't want it fatless.
Ali K's asking, I can't choice motherboard. I guess you mean I cannot choose a motherboard. Could you help me please? I'm looking for an X870 and CPU, planning on the 9800 X3D. Ali, You don't need an X870. I did have a bit of a rant on this on the last stream, I think. X870 realistically doesn't give you anything else other than more PCI Express lanes and more USBs. If you need more USBs and you need more PCI Express lanes, fill your boots, get the most expensive board you can, or get a board that you like. But if you're using 9800X3D, I'm guessing it's for gaming. And if you're a gamer, realistically, what you're going to have? 2, maybe 3 M.2 drives. I doubt if you're going to plug in an absolute ton of different USB devices, and if you are, they're probably not going to be high-speed ones. It's probably going to be like a joystick, gamepad, keyboard, mouse, that sort of stuff. So you probably don't need to spend that money. You'd be much better off saving a bit of money on your X870 board, getting yourself a decent B650 board, like the Asus Tough Gaming, which we reviewed. That's actually reduced at the moment, down to about 140, I think. Or something like the MSI B550 Gaming Plus, which has also been reduced at the moment. I'll try and find some links for that later. Both of which, fantastic boards, and will more than adequately do what you're needing to do. So you don't need to spend that money. You probably save getting on for £100, which could then be, I don't know, another set of RAM, another 2 terabytes of storage, the next tier up on your graphics card. It's definitely worth considering if you don't need the PCI Express lanes and you don't need the extra M.2 slots. Okay, I'm going to minimize that for a minute because I'm answering too many questions and I'm running out of oxygen. And relax. Keo says, can I 3D print a rubber plug for an air fryer pan?
Wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't know whether it would stand the heat, to be honest.
Plus, it wouldn't be food safe.
Jason Wood says, no, you need an air fryer. I don't like it, honestly. I generally don't. Bazman! Bazman! First time joining the live.
Probably his last now.
Probably the last as well. Don't all look at Bazman, he's shy. Just ignore him. Say hello, but don't stare. I think there's too much honey in this. It's gone all sugared. Anyway. Q says I'll plug it with a screw then. Okay. David Underhill also kind of backs up what I was saying there for gaming. B650. Honestly, there's no point. It really isn't. Because the X870 chipset is basically more B650s bolted together. Alessa says, I couldn't live without my air fryer and microwave. Our microwave has been in the loft for a year, since last Christmas, when we used it to heat up a Christmas pudding.
For my mum.
For Kath's mum. We haven't used it again since. It's in the loft.
I haven't used it for about 10 years anyway.
True. True.
The only thing I used to do with it was clean the bloody thing. Other people using it. I hated it. Barsman
says, thanks for the MSI B550M video. I was about to buy it, but since you said that a board can handle 65 watt CPUs, I went with the A620M S2H from Gigabyte, and that saved me a lot of bucks. Thanks so much. No worries, glad that you saved some money. Excellent stuff. I just noticed there, good old Dom has gifted 5 Mike's Unboxing reviews and how-to memberships to viewers. So Jason Woods has been gifted a membership by Dom. Also Hyper Realistic Pixel Death, great name. Capono 5150. Sir Larry the Cat. Leo. There you go. You've all got memberships, so you can get early access to the videos. And also you get the VIP role on our Discord, should you wish to use it. Other than that, you get our undying love and respect. That is something you just can't buy. Well, actually, you just did, so. Oh, dear Lord. David Underhill says, my air fryer gets very little usage. My electric griller gets more usage. Microwave used only for defrosting. Okay. Zero Defect says, how do you heat up your rustlers, though? If I buy a rustlers, I do it in secret and I eat it at work on a Sunday, where they have a microwave. You don't eat that crap. I don't. I haven't had a rustlers in ages. which is probably why my colon is relatively healthy at the moment, I believe. You always got to say I believe, because you never know, do you? Mark Berry says, are those air fryers easy to clean? No, and that is one of the main problems. If you have any food with fat in it, it splashes up in... It's a stupid design, because you've got the heating element at the bottom. Above that, there is the fan. So if you need to clean the fan, or anything above the fan, you have to remove the element. Otherwise it's all stuck in there.
It's got screws into the handle on the outside, so you can't clean around the screws inside it.
Yeah, it's just
the actual basket.
It's rubbish.
Oh.
Don't buy one, kids.
There's videos on YouTube of a woman who's designed brushes to be able to clean it, and she just needs somebody to make the brushes so that people can clean it, because it's just disgusting. Rick
H, God bless you, sir. He says, I just ordered one of those Fixwot drives for $95 with 6 monthly payments of £17.30 USD. Yeah, don't forget, if you are buying from Amazon at the moment, maybe if things are a little bit tight or you're not getting paid till later on in the month and you want to spread out your payments, you can do it with Amazon. You can do it two ways. You can get their Amazon card, sign up and get their Amazon debit card or credit card, or you can do the payments. So you pay a little bit now, a little bit later, 6 monthly, 3 monthly, etc. It's quite an easy way of doing it, especially these times. Like, everyone's feeling the pinch a bit, and if you haven't been paid, you want something, it's sale season, better than a payday loan. Anyway, moving on. Thanks for that, Dom. People are saying they love their microwave ovens. I'll be honest with you, I did for a long time. They are convenient.
But it never tastes right, does it?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, if you microwave a soup, like a can of soup, obviously take it out of the can, but if you microwave a soup, but then cook the same soup on the hob, it tastes completely different. Night and day difference, it really is. Charles Ballard says, what is this Rustlers thing you don't eat? If you look up on a UK website, Rustlers is kind of, if you imagine a poor man's McDonald's, but marketed as not being. So you get like a burger bun, kind of pre-toasted. You get either a pork rib or a burger or sausage muffin, whatever it is. Probably a slice of American style cheese. And maybe some kind of burger relish, or maybe some mayonnaise.
Or some plastic cheese.
Yeah, I said plastic cheese. Yeah. You get all that in there, so you basically take the bun out. You can toast that separately if you want to, but basically you put this like slab of meat into your microwave, cook it for a minute, chuck it back in the bun, chuck on the plastic cheese, chuck on the sugar sauce, and then put it back in your bun and eat it. And they are tasty. Artificially so, but they are kind of, they're okay. But quite often they're on sale for like £1 or £1.50. So like it's $1 meal, thereabouts. So they're okay. If you can't afford anything else and you're on the go or you're like whatever, it's fine. I've eaten a shoe insert, and I would say that Rustlers has the edge on it, only slightly. Charles says, oh, understood. Sounds like something to try once and probably never again. When me and Kath were on a real penny pinching mission, when we used to go down to the Co-op every single day to get the bargains, they would quite often have the Rustlers, and I would buy a bunch of them because they'd be reduced down from like £2 down to like, I don't know, 50p or something stupid, or maybe even £1. So I'd be like, right, I'll get 4. And then after having like 1 or 2 of them, it's like, I don't feel great. Toge in the house says, I Mike Kath and the regulars. How you doing, Toge? Or Tog? Is it Tog or Toge?
Togue. Like rogue.
Togue.
Like rogue.
Rogue. Togue, rogue. Alright.
You'll forget by next week.
Keo says, pot noodles are healthier. They probably are, to be fair.
But they're full of soy.
I don't mind a pot noodle. I'll be honest with you. A beef and tomato pot noodle, if you cook it right, cook it, wrong word. If you put in the water the right amount and it gets to the right consistency, and yeah, but it might give you moobs. So all that soy is not good. Andy Gardner says, were the rustlers withdrawn for a while after the horse meat scandal? Now the thing is, the horse meat scandal is a complete... it's absolutely bizarre. Because horse meat is actually better than the majority of the crap beef that we would get in the UK. So if they had like a spaghetti bolognese and they had horse meat in it instead of beef, you're actually on a winner. Because horse meat is much, much better. Like, some people are like, oh, don't want to eat a horse because it's an animal or a pet. It's an animal. If you're eating meat, you're eating meat. But yeah, horse is actually alright. Pretty tasty. In fact, the best meat ever is calf.
Ostrich.
Ostrich. Ostrich steaks. If you've never had an ostrich steak before, get an ostrich steak. They are amazing. Absolutely amazing. If you like meat, but you don't like steak because it's stringy or it's whatever, or it's expensive, get an ostrich steak. They're amazing. They're on offer at the moment at Morrison's.
They're not on offer.
Are they not?
No.
£5.50 for two.
£5 for two.
£5 for two. See, it's cheaper than I thought already.
They're not on offer though.
Jason Woods has given us a £1 super chat. Thank you very much, Jason. Much appreciated. Let's heart that out there.
Oh, sorry.
Awesome stuff. Thank you. Joe Dave says, I brought a Ryzen 5600 GT. Will it be good? Well, it's a comparative thing. It's going to be good, but it's not going to be as good as something better. But it'll be better than something which is worse. That's probably not very helpful. I acknowledge that. No, the 5600 GT is fine. It depends what you're kind of using it for, really. But it's 5600 in general is a good CPU. Jurs 1987 says, hi Mike, how you doing? Nice, very nice. Kyo says, that's poultry. What is ostrich?
I suppose it is.
Yeah, technically I suppose it is, yeah, because ostrich is a bird.
It's very similar to ostrich.
I don't like emu.
Have you ever had it?
We had it and it wasn't very nice.
I don't think
I know,
have.
buffalo that, wasn't it? Do we have buffalo?
I think it was buffalo.
I think we had buffalo. Buffalo was horrible.
No, it wasn't buffalo that was horrible, I don't think. It was kangaroo.
Kangaroo is...
Not horrible. I liked it.
I didn't
Bit
like it.
liver.
Yeah.
But I like liver. You do.
Dave says, ostrich eggs on toast are great. Hell of a breakfast though. Need baguettes for eggy soldiers. Baguettes. Blimey. Alright, come in with a super chat there. Chilling and loving the stream. Mike is on form tonight. One glass of red wine is too much for me. $9.99. Thank you very much, O'Reilly. You enjoy your wine. If you're not used to drinking, a glass of wine can really knock you sideways.
I think we might need some sellotape on this now.
Kath's broken the remote control for my lamp.
Print a back on it.
I'll just put some sellotape on it. It'll be easier. Matthew Day. Get in there, Matthew Day. I had venison once. It was on offer, so it wasn't too dear. Boom. Oh dear. John Hovers says the explanation of good was deep. Thanks, John. Appreciate that. Rick says Marmite on toast. Lovely. Although Marmite isn't cheap in the UK. Yeah, we used to get that cheap Tesco no brand like copy yeast extract stuff, and it was quite pretty bogus to be fair. But we used to give it to George, and he didn't complain too much.
But I think yeast extract, isn't that MSG?
I'm not sure.
So I don't know if Marmite's included in that.
I don't know.
It's just all too much.
Jason says, you're welcome. I wish it could be more. No, don't be silly, Jason. Anything that you guys do to help us out is appreciated. However large or small, none of it is expected or demanded. So whenever we get anything, it's great. Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Emu, buffalo, easy to mix up, and then kangaroo.
Yeah, emu. I don't. What's the emu look like? Emu. Yeah, emu's a bird, isn't it? A buffalo's like a horse.
Emu.
No, buffalo's not like a horse. A buffalo's more like a cow, isn't it? Yeah. Isn't a buffalo like a supercharged cow?
Yeah, buffalo's more of a.
I don't think I've ever met a buffalo. I've met a few cows. But that's what you get for working in retail. Ba-boom.
Looking at me then.
I wasn't looking. I was looking in your direction because you're behind the camera, but I wasn't necessarily indicating in that direction. Sorry.
Bison. We don't think we've had bison, have we? I suppose that's the same as a...
Oh, what's that joke?
I don't know. I can't remember it, but it's so funny. You've got to have the right accent. Can't wash your hands.
Is it a buffalo and a
What's
bison?
the difference?
Yeah, what's the difference between...
A vacuum
Yeah.
and a buffalo, isn't it?
Not a vacuum. There's a joke, which is, what is the difference between something and...
I thought it's vacuum and buffalo.
Yeah,
and then
buffalo.
You can't wash your hands in a...
I don't know.
Dive
There's a joke.
in there.
If anyone can find it, or anyone knows the joke, it's basically about washing your hands. So if anyone knows that joke, please post it in the chat to save my mental state. Buffalo is a bovine. I don't even know what's bovine mean.
Oh, I haven't had a chance to sellotape this yet. I'm sweating.
It's getting hot in here. It's actually, I think it's me talking. It's 24.5 degrees now. Thank you for the... Oh, who's done that? Super chat. Dave Aikens. There we go. He's coming with a joke as well to save the stream. Thank you. Dave Aikens, $5 super chat. £5, sorry. What did the ostrich say after being told a bad joke? I'm not amused.
Were you amused by that, Poppy?
Oh dear. Good stuff. Thank you very much. Rick Wellybob. I like how he puts his name in brackets so I know, because there's so many Ricks. So Mike, what do you make of the Adamant IT Intel motherboard? £420 and a CPU which was the 265K earlier. What a faff, and features that didn't seem to work. I think if you're... Now this is relevant information, so if you're looking for bargains and you're looking for advice, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm obviously going to regret this at a later state, but I hope I won't. I think that Intel, once they get the hardware scheduling figured out in Windows and the BIOS is done and the memory latency issues addressed, I think the Intel platform is going to become very competitive. There you go. I've said it. I've said it out loud on a stream. I can't retract it. It's live. Who else agrees with me? I'm hearing chirps and crickets, so thanks for that. Come on, Rick. Rick H. He's going to back me up. He's an Intel man. Where's Colin Hilton when you need him? Come on, he's an Intel man as well. If you're an Intel fan, help me out in the chat. Let me know. See, John David Sullivan has hope. Thank you.
Bovine equals cow.
Ah, thank you.
That's obvious.
Just say cow then. Anyway, so I think Intel are going to do well. So if you can pick up a cheap Intel processor...
Oh, there it is. What's the difference between...
Hang on. Don't do it. Post it to me.
That's not quite right though, is it? Because it was something to do with a Dyson vacuum.
Oh yeah. If you can get an Intel 265K at a good price, I think it's worth going for. Now, the problem is at the moment, Intel motherboards, because we're still their first generation of the Core Ultra series. Technically it's not, but it is. On this socket anyway, LGA 1851. So the motherboards that are available at the moment are expensive. So you're looking at Z890 motherboards, such as this honking great MSI board, which we looked at in the stream before. This is the Z890 Edge TI Wi-Fi. This board is ridiculous overkill. Absolutely insane. You don't need basically 3/4 of the stuff that's on here. Hey, it's nice to have, but you don't need to spend that much money. So when it comes to having maybe an H series chipset, so H810 maybe, H870, or the B860 boards when they come out, I think that's going to make this platform much, much more agreeable. I think Intel are going to end up being the budget champion. I really do. I can see it happening. AMD are starting to increase their prices. We're seeing it happening all over with the Sculptors as well, with the 9800X 3D. We're seeing prices, absolutely insane prices, like £800 for a CPU, which is worth what? I don't know, was it £450, £500? We're seeing a lot of increase like that, and it will only continue as the platform becomes more and more dominating. So Intel really need to pull their fingers out, get those lower end boards out, fix the firmwares, fix the Windows scheduler, so it kind of, or mostly get the information out to the game developers and say, look, this is how our CPU works. This is what the architecture does. Code this game, or code the games with this in mind. And I think this is going to be a really good platform. But it's early days, and they've come into the market where AMD is absolutely killing it. Because you've got AM4, fantastic platform, massive longevity, really good performance with the 5700X3D as we saw in the previous video, and numerous people have already gone and got. So this is in a really tricky position, but I do think that Intel are going to come out smiling, and I think they're going to turn it around. I think they have to be fair, but we will see. I am looking out for a either a 265K, maybe a 285K. I don't know. I am tempted. They are very strong for video editing work and for multi-threaded tasks. I don't play a lot of games, so a gaming CPU for me isn't that beneficial. I'm more of a mixed platform, mostly video editing and video work, then with some gaming as well. So for me, Intel makes a lot of sense, even though AMD are crushing it. Anyway, there we go. That's my thoughts on it. So if you can find a... It's so hard to say without the boards being on the market. If they can bring out like a B860 motherboard, which is in the kind of £150 ballpark area, that could then make a very, very compelling choice. And potentially as well, it does look like the new Battlemage GPUs, which is going to be, I believe it's going to be the B850 and the B870. Not entirely sure yet, but it looks like that potentially is going to be what it is. But they do look like they are going to be, the premium one is going to be similar to a 4070 Super in performance. So if you take that into consideration, that is roughly in the UK somewhere between £500 and £600. If Intel can launch that for somewhere around the £300 mark, they have an instant hit on their hands. I hope that is the case. Even if it's £400, I think people will be like raising a little bit of an eyelid, or eyebrow rather. And the lower version, which is going to be the kind of the more entry level one at the launch, is going to be roughly the same as a 4060 Ti 16 gig. So that possibly might be around about £200 to £250, which again really does stick it to Nvidia, because the 4060 Ti is still kind of £350 easy. So if it can come in £100 less with a similar feature set and similar performance, it's got to be worth a look. And with what I'm actually getting to, part of the platform is that the Intel processor and the Intel GPU are designed to work together and share a kind of fabric, so they can talk to each other that bit much faster, and also leverage some of the iGPU on the processors as well, as like a hybrid graphics thing. So just getting a little bit more performance out of it. So potentially it's going to be a very nice platform, but it's early days still, so it is a bit of a gamble, but I want to see Intel do well. Let me know what you think. Right, let's have a look at some questions. Dave Aiken says, just get a 9950X mic. I don't think I would. I honestly don't. It's... For me, AMD is a little bit of a funny one. Like in my system behind us, the 7700, I've got a 7700X in another PC down there. And for the kind of money as well, if you look at AliExpress, the deals on there, a 7700 for around about £150, you can't really go wrong. But trying to get anything a bit higher, like the 7800X3D, really hard to get. Not much of an improvement in general usage. Games, obviously, 3D cache works really great. So I don't see myself getting a particularly highly cored AMD processor for the foreseeable. Because for me, I use Premiere, video editing, it's kind of got to be Intel really. Which is a shame, but kind of is what it is. Ordinary Dude says, I'm looking forward to the 200 and 300 series mobile Intel APUs in mini PCs with Battlemage integrated graphics. Yes, definitely. Where else we go? Have you put anything in Discord?
Ah, yeah, I have. Sorry, copies.
Sorry, CB's asked something, but I can't see where the original part of the question is. And I probably won't now. Let's scroll down. Zero Defects, $4.99. Thank you very much. Going towards the 285k fund money. Thank you. That's very kind of you. And thanks for your first super sticker. Happy days. Thank you. Skystalker says, I'm really quite pleased with the 7950 X3D. Best of both worlds. Yeah, that is it is a cracking CPU. Togue says, Alan will be very happy to hear you favouring Intel, and here he is just on cue. Nice. Geordie LaForgery says, hi Mike, any thoughts on the current QD OLED monitor range? Cheers. I really want one. I'll be honest with you. I really do want one. I don't need one, but it's a like. I'm not too sure if a QD OLED would be more beneficial than going for a quantum dot IPS. I can see the obvious advantages, but at the moment, I've listed it in the chat. Sorry, in the video description. There is an MSI 27-inch quantum dot 1440p 180 Hz monitor with 120% sRGB coverage, which I never understand 120% because percent is a maximum of 100. But anyway, I'm not going to go into that. That is at the moment reduced from, I think it was about £350 when it came out. It's now down to £199 on Amazon. And that is a QD, well, it's a quantum dot monitor. But I must admit, I'm not, like these high-end monitors, I'm not overly kind of experienced or versed in the technology. I understand OLED gives you kind of the best contrast and the fastest pixel response and ghosting and what have you. But I don't, someone can explain to me in the chat actually, if you've got a quantum dot monitor, what does that actually mean in terms of quantum dot? I'm guessing it's just the kind of the pixel size is tiny. But if you've got a QD OLED versus a QD IPS, what is the actual benefit there? Because I thought quantum dots were also faster response as well. And would I necessarily notice the difference between a QD IPS and a QD OLED, other than the price and the absolute blacks? I'm guessing I probably wouldn't, but I honestly don't know. Scroll down there, see if there's any answer to that. Justin M says, Mike's unboxing reviews and how to. That's me. Thanks for all the videos. They really have helped with my build I'm doing in the new year. Awesome. Thanks, Justin. Thanks for letting us know. It's nice to know that the videos are doing well. I've noticed that you can tell it's coming up to that time because the my PC won't boot when it's turned on. Basically, every one of the BIOS update videos, all of them, you can just see it's like they're going up through the roof. So the viewing figures are going up as they generally tend to this time of year anyway, because people are kind of researching, buying stuff as well. But you can tell also on the Discord, many people, almost infuriatingly so, asking about BIOS updates and when they're going wrong. Now I have actually got a new updated BIOS flashback guide which covers basically anything that can go wrong, I think, hopefully. I think I've ticked all the boxes there. So it's a really nice concise guide going through the things that can go wrong, where you're making your mistakes, things to try and rectify those mistakes. And hopefully that video is going to be really useful to some people because we end up going over the same thing over and over and over in the Discord. So it's going to be nice to have a video to say, right, these are the things to check. This is your kind of definitive checklist. Go through this. It should fix your problems. That's the theory. What was the question? Brain's gone. Dave Aiken says, all CPUs are so quick now with multi-core on a mid-range i5 or Ryzen 5 matching an i9 from a few years back. You really don't need that much to do even decent video editing. This is very true, which is why I was considering... I've actually got a 245K, but I really feel very weird putting it onto like a 300, 400 pound motherboard when the processor is, I don't know, what, 250 pounds. It seems really bizarre, especially if you don't need the features that are on the board that much. So it's a very weird mismatch. I think the 265K is probably the sweet spot for almost everybody, unless you are doing some very, very serious multi-threaded work. The 265K is going to cost you, I think, almost £200 less than the 285K. That might be wrong. It's been a little while since I've checked into it, but I think the 265K. Actually, let's have a look. See what the latest pricing is. I think it's about £400. Intel 265K. Yeah, that is at the moment on Amazon.co.uk. Actually come down very slightly to £379. And let's have a look at the 285K. That is currently around about the 550, 570. So that's a lot of extra money, isn't it? £570 versus basically £370. Yeah, £200 cheaper. I was pretty much bang on. So that takes you from kind of 8 performance cores and 16 energy efficient cores to the i7, which I'm trying to think now. What is the? I should know this. Ultra 7. Yeah, so 20 cores and 20 threads. How many is that? Not 6 and 12, is it? More info. Come on, we'll see specifications. There we go. Yeah, so yeah, 8 performance cores. So you've got the same amount of performance cores in the £200 cheaper processor, but you've got 4 less efficiency cores. I think that's right. Am I right? 20 cores versus 24 cores. Yeah, I think that's right.
Did you do Justin's question?
Justin or Jason?
Justin.
Which was Justin's question?
I'm looking at using
I haven't seen it yet. I'll have a look at it.
I'll send it into Discord.
Okay, cool.
Lose it,
Thank you.
So
yeah, I think the 265K is the one to go for. £379 puts it in a weird position as well against AMD. But I do want to try one. And from what I can tell from early testing, from what people have been doing, the idle wattage on these things is so low. I'll finish my drink, hang on a sec.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice. Yeah, so I think the 265K is the one I'm going to go for. There is another side rant which I could go on. Do you want me to go on a side rant? Let me know. There is a big side rant which is really annoying me. Like, massively. Because I've invested into something which is basically now really messing up my shit. Let's be honest. It's such a stupid thing, but I went down a certain alleyway and yeah, I'm regretting it now. Anyway, moving on. Jason Woods has asked a question there. Question: is AM4 dead? Now, there's a long answer and there's a short answer. The short answer is no. Long answer is also kind of no. So, a platform is only ever dead if you haven't got a use for it. Like, there's still people buying Xeons, AM3s, old. You'd think retro computing. People are still buying, like, even really old stuff like Apple IIs from back in the day, like from the early 80s. So a platform is only ever truly dead when it's no longer being manufactured in some way, shape or form. But AM4 boards are still being made. AM4 processors are still being made. Now, it isn't a prioritized platform for AMD, certainly. Obviously, AM5 is what they are putting their priorities into, and also the server line. So that is going to be kind of the key things. But AM4 is alive. It's kind of on life support, and it is coming towards the end. So the end is definitely in sight, but it's not dead for sure. People are, like I said, people are still buying like 8th and 9th gen Intels. Also, you have to bear in mind whereabouts you actually are in the world. Now, if you are in a kind of a slightly more, I don't want to say third world country, but if you're in a less developed country, let's say, or a country which has a lower GDP or lower earnings thresholds, that sort of stuff, then people are using older PCs. And in a lot of those countries, they are still using kind of like 7th, 8th, 9th gen Intel, AM3, possibly like FX range, that sort of stuff. They are still being used. So the platform itself doesn't necessarily die, but it's kind of its place in the mainstream mindset does. But I don't think AM4 is going to die for a long time. AM4 will be alive and well. I would argue that when we get to Black Friday in 2 years' time, I still think there will be AM4 motherboards in the sales and processors available to buy. That is my prediction. I think AM4 has a long and lustrous life ahead of it for the majority of people. And also, if you're buying into it now, it depends what it is you're doing. If you are one of those people that buys a PC maybe once every 5 years, you just use it until it basically stops running, or you cannot run any software on it, then of course it's going to last you for a much longer time. Whether or not it's going to be capable of running the latest and greatest games in 2, 3, 4 years time, that of course is a very different question, and potentially you are going to be then limited by game manufacturers and distributors where they put the minimum requirements out. So if you're rocking something like a 200G or 200GE processor with 2 cores, the chances are there's already games that are coming out that you cannot play. But if you're just using it as a word processor for getting online, doing your banking or whatever, creating emails, it's going to have a life ahead of it. So that's what you've got to think about. I don't think it's dead, but some people will say it is. Justin M says, hello from Canada. How you doing, Justin M? Good to see you. Let's have some more Canadians in there. Right, where else do we go? Let's have a look in the Discord for a chat which Kath may have sent me. Hi Mike, would the 2TB Fixwot be compatible with the PS5? Looking for more storage. I used to be Craig Gaming, had a name change. As far as I'm aware, I think you need PCI Express Gen 4. Now I could be wrong on this. I do vaguely remember seeing, I think it was on UK Hot Deals, there was a sub-thread on there. Or was it on Amazon where they said, let's have a look on Amazon. I think I did see it somewhere where that question was kind of answered. Let's sign out of there. I don't want to sign in. Oof. Yeah, there we go. Let's not sign in. Accept. Where are we? Right. Fixwot FX 550. If anyone else has answered the question already, let me know. Where are we? Flash. No, I don't think it will. I don't think you can use it on a PS5. I think for that you'd need the FX 900, which is PCI Express Gen 4. Yes, I'm pretty sure that is the case. So no, you will need something a little bit faster for. Yeah, PCI Express Gen 4. You need PCI Express Gen 4 as a minimum for PS5 for the data rates. To be fair, you could probably put it in and chances are it will work, but you might get stuttering. So I'd rather say no, it won't. Where's the next question? Cripes. There's a lot of them. Fred Vandermeulen. How big is the difference between 32-bit and 64-bit?
That was ages ago.
The difference is 32 bits. I'm not too sure how to answer that question. The difference between 32-bit and 64-bit is massive, but it depends on what architecture you're referring to or what software you're referring to. Basically, 64-bit means you've just got a much wider bus to address. All components in the computer have physical addresses. So whenever it's sending data to one point to another, it uses an address. So if you've got a 64-bit bus, you have a much wider freeway, so to speak, with loads of lanes. Whereas if you're on a 32-bit bus, it's like half the motorway's been chopped off. So potentially they can travel at the same speed, but not as much data. So it depends what it is. Like for graphics, you want as wide a bus as possible because you've got a massive amount of data going through at one time. Alternatively, if you're doing software stuff, 32-bit software, 64-bit software, chances are you'll never notice the difference. It kind of depends on what it is what you're referring to for the difference, to be honest with you. Dave Aitkins come in with that joke that I got badly wrong earlier. What's the difference between a buffalo and a bison? You have to say this in the Brummie accent. You can't wash your hands in a buffalo.
I think I must have put the...
There must be something wrong because it's bison. You can't wash your hands in a bison. No, I don't. Whatever it is.
I think I changed it to Dyson.
Calf's broken my mind on that one. I blame Calf. Jerry 2 times. Is the RTX 4070 Ti Super capable of 4K gaming? Looking at 32-inch 4K OLED monitor. Yes, it is. Yes. It's capable of it. It depends on what games. Like if you look at some of the late games which are coming out at the moment, even with a 4090, some of the games are still struggling at 60 FPS, native resolution. So do expect, if you want higher refresh rates, to maybe have some sort of scaling on, like DLSS, that sort of thing, if the game supports it. To be honest with you, I think 1440p is the sweet spot for gaming. Even if you've got a 4K monitor, like if you're buying a 4K monitor because you're possibly doing other things, or you just want the resolution for your desktop, that's great. But you can still run your games at 1440p, and they still will look great. Most people won't notice the difference. I generally don't, but so that's you. But yes, a 4070 Ti Super can do 4K gaming. I've done 4K gaming videos on the 3060 Ti. So it is possible, it's just you have to temper your expectations and possibly involve some scaling. Justin M, finally gets your question. I'm looking at using a 7700X CPU with a RX 7900 XT. Do you think it will match up well? Yeah, it'll be fine. It's always a thing with games and software in general. Some software is going to be heavily dependent on CPU. Some software is going to be heavily dependent on your GPU. It depends on what you're doing and what you're playing. So games like the old Counter-Strike and Fortnite, for example, can be quite heavy on a CPU, but they're also quite heavy on the GPU as well. So it kind of depends what it is you're doing, what you're playing. There are some games where you can quite happily be almost like 100% utilization on your GPU and your CPU's at like 5-10%. That's somewhat of a rarity these days. They are getting to be more CPU dependent. But I think the 7700X with a 7090 XT is going to be, the 7700 XT is going to be fine. Kenny D, has anyone tried the new NVIDIA app? Now it's officially come out of beta. What are your thoughts? I still use it. I quite like it, but more times than not, it's just for updating the drivers. It's quite nice that there's a little thing in the dashboard to say, there's a new driver, whoa, here we go. But other than that, I don't really see any real excitement about it. It's just another app to add to the many that we all already use, which are a bit of a pain at times. Right, I've already talked about the Fixwot, so storage-wise, that is fantastic. If you're looking for storage for RAM, this is insane. I honestly don't know well, either they were making a lot of money on this previously, or the economies of scale are kicking in now. So 32 gigs of DDR5 6000 mega transfer RAM, which supports both XPO for AMD users and also XMP for Intel. This at the moment is also £66. Another 66, very satanic once again. This was £104 the last time I bought some, and I did the review. So if you want to check out the review, I have done a review on the Crucial DDR5. You're more than welcome to check it out. So this is almost half the price it was, which is ridiculous. Links are in the video description. Check it out. It's an awesome deal. And there is a super chat from Jerry 2 times. I like that name. It's good. $10. Thank you very much. And Jerry says thank you. You're very welcome. Much appreciated. Phil Stodd's in the chat. How you doing, Phil? Just noticed you there. And who else we got? David Underhill's on there. 4K on my RX 6600X is okay. Cyberpunk 2077 is very demanding, says Keo. It certainly is. Keo says X3D for gaming, no brainer. It is, but if it adds a considerable amount of overhead to your price, I'm not sure if it's worth it. If you are solely gaming and you're maybe competitive gaming, then it probably is worth spending it. But it depends on how big the gap is. Like a 7700X, you can pick up on AliExpress for about 150, 160. Whereas the 7800X 3D, you're looking probably an extra 100, 150 pounds on top of that, which is a big chunk of cash. It's almost double the price. Rasher says the new Can It Play game seems to be Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. I'm actually quite interested in trying that to see what it's like, although it seems almost universally that people say it sucks. The game engine itself is actually quite good and some nice features, but the loading of textures and all that stuff is horrendous. So I was tempted to buy it like a day one release, but I'm glad I didn't bother. So I think I would have been frustrated. Ali K says, why are CPU benchmarks always done at 1080p? Many CPUs perform similarly at 1440p. That is why CPU benchmarks are done. You've almost answered your own question. So the reality is, if you're playing PC games, if you're spending the sort of money where you need to see the difference and see what's the best value, then you're probably playing 1440p, maybe ultra wide or 4K. At which point your CPU doesn't really make a great deal of difference anyway. It's going to be mostly GPU bound because of the higher resolution. But to actually be able to see a difference between CPU power and throughput, doing it at a super low resolution, where the difficulty is more on the CPU to provide frames for the graphics card, that is where you see the difference in CPU. So although it does separate the CPUs in terms of which is the fastest, it's only the fastest for that resolution. So if you're playing 4K, realistically, any CPU you want is going to be fine, because you're always going to be GPU bottlenecked. Now, it doesn't mean you can get a crap CPU. You're still going to need a decent CPU because you're playing at 4K. But you don't necessarily need to have the best of the best, although it will help in some instances to get higher frame rates, as we're seeing with the X3D range. Togue says, Mike and Kath, have you ever considered having a guest via voice chat on your stream to bounce ideas off? I vote Dave Aiken for the first guest, super knowledgeable and Discord mod. I have considered it. It's something that I've always wanted to do because it's actually really difficult for me to just talk non-stop for 3 hours. As much as you may think that isn't the case. It isn't hard. It is tricky. It's hard. So it would be really nice to have someone else here that they can just chat. So if I want to go off and have a voice chat, have a smoke or whatever, it'd be kind of handy. Yeah, voice chat is like, right, full screen. There's Dave. I go for a pee. Yes, it'd be good.
Maybe we should do that in the new year.
I've been thinking about doing it. Yeah, it's something I do want to do. It's the technology is the limiting factor. Getting it all to work. Yeah, I always struggle with the audio. Like getting someone else actually into a stream is actually quite easy to do. but then getting the audio so that I can hear it, I'll have to wear headphones, because otherwise it would bleed through and you'd hear what is being said, and it'd be kind of delayed and weird. But yeah, definitely we could, it's something I would like to do. Skystalker says, I play Microsoft Flight Sim 2, well, the new one, I guess. Don't believe everything you hear. The game works fine for me. Okay, that's interesting. Hello, Firestorm. How are you? Greg M says you better have fast internet since you have to download everything each time unless you download a certain area you're flying into your computer. Yeah, they have reduced it. So if you had Flight Sim 2020, normally you're looking at somewhere around about 200 gigs of storage. I think the base install is about 130 plus patches, then you kind of scenery and stuff. So it quite easily managed to get it to like 200 gigs. Now I think it's down to about 60. But it does have to stream a lot of the texture data and obviously things like the live data for the weather, etc. So if you have a slightly lower internet connection, you may struggle. James Miscellaneous says, or Ugly Bob on Comedy Hour. I don't know where Ugly Bob is. I think he's disappeared again. I think he might be counting missiles or something, I don't know.
Missiles?
Oh yeah, as I was saying, back to the RAM. So yeah, the RAM is listed in the chat. It's not the fastest time-ins. It's CL36 and CL32 would have been nicer, but £66 for 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM is kind of mad. It's most of the other RAM on the market. So if you get something like the Corsair Vengeance DDR5, this basically the same, actually it's identical specs, I think, pretty much. This might be CL36 as well. I can't quite see that. Yeah, CL36. So basically the same timings. This I got on special offer from Amazon Germany a couple of weeks back. That was £85, I think. This is £66. So that's a big difference already. Quite impressive. Nice deal. If you want RGB RAM, then you're going to pay a bit of a premium anyway. So most RGB RAM, 32 gigs, DDR5, you're looking at about 100, 105, maybe 120, depending on what you're buying. But yeah, if you don't mind RGB, basically half the price of RGB stuff. Links are in the video description. Do check them out. Kath's breaking her monitor.
I find making little noises like that makes you get your attention quicker.
Noises are good.
Like it's remote, now it's broken, and you realise I'm stood there with the lights off and the disco going. It's good.
Trevor Good, how do I be a part of this giveaway? You can read the description of the video and it has all the information on there. If you want to be into the giveaway for the monitor, basically all the giveaway items will be linked to specific regular videos. So the monitor, we've done the review on the monitor, so you can head over to the monitor review video, type the word win into the comment section, you'll be entered into the draw. That's how it works. We'll draw that in maybe about a week's time now. So probably this time next week we'll do the draw for that. You got the Lian Li 207 case. I think patrons might have that video already. I think members will get it maybe tomorrow or Monday. So that'll be the next one. So the case to give away. The Lian Li 207 is an absolutely cracking case. If you're looking for a PC case to build your new rig into, definitely put the Lian Li 207 on your shopping list, especially if you want to spend around about 80 quid. It is absolutely brilliant. Great case, like it a lot. And obviously in terms of coolers and also the Amazon gift voucher, that there'll be a separate video on that as well.
You won't
and the gift voucher, I think we'll probably do that as like a runner-up prize. So £30 gift voucher or the IQ Link H100i RGB.
Very nice.
There you go. Hopefully that's answered your question, Trevor. Next question is for Dominic. Or from Dominic, rather, not for Dominic. Dominic's asking the questions. It's pissing down. Absolutely pissing down out there. Can you hear it? Actually, I'm going to stand by the window so you can hear the rain. It's absolutely hammering down. We've got the window open for Poppy. Yeah, I'm not too sure how well that's come out on camera. Or
on camera.
Even on the video, perhaps. It's raining very hard. So Dominic says, "Hi Mike, I have an AMD Radeon RX 7900 GRE, nice one. Every time I update with AMD Adrenalin, it tells me the graphics card is not supported. Is it me or Adrenalin causing this issue?" It could be a bit of both. For some AMD systems at the moment, and I've noticed it more often, especially with the latest driver, if you have the onboard iGPU disabled, it will throw up the error. And I don't know why it is. I think it's something to do with there's a bug in the software, but there's not really a great deal you can do about it. So for a lot of people, going into the BIOS and enabling the onboard graphics actually will allow the installation to carry on for some bizarre reason. Conversely, if you've already got it enabled and you're getting the error message, turn it off, and that might do what you need it to do. So do try that. Also, with graphics drivers for NVIDIA and AMD, and also chipset drivers, they're designed to work with a specific version of Windows, or versions of Windows. So do make sure before you start doing any updates for chipset or graphics drivers that you do your Windows updates first, do all the Windows updates you possibly can, then restart your computer, then do your installation, and you should find that works properly. Skystalker says, "Is the IQ AIO a worldwide giveaway?" That's a good question. Probably. I would say yes. I'd need to work out when the video comes out if that's logistically possible. But yeah, we should be able to do that. It's not massively heavy. It doesn't contain batteries.
Well, they are trying to make it difficult, aren't they,
Yeah.
for posting for some reason. And also, was that off the Discord you got that?
That was from the Discord, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
The one above.
to be continued. I did the one above.
Did you?
I think so. Shiny Bold Banana. I have a question. I have RGB fans on my PC, but I think that my PSU is at fault. With the SATA leads, the fans spin but no RGB. I've double checked the connections. Do you think this could be the cause? It depends on the case and the fans, and also how they're powered, etc. It's quite a difficult thing to answer during a live stream, as you probably appreciate, because I'd need to really see it. I would suggest head over to our Discord. I'll put a link in the chat right now. So head over to our Discord,
Getting good at this.
and if you can, get some pictures of the fan hub or controller or your wiring and post it into one of the tech support rooms, and I'll try and have a look after the stream if I can, or alternatively one of the excellent already what's the word, present, whoever's in the Discord at the moment, hopefully they'll have a look, and if it's something which they've seen before, they'll point you in the right direction. Should be quite an easy fix, but we'll be able to see once we get more information. There you go. Let's go back to the screen here, see what's going on. And where are we? Okay, fantastic. Right, how are we doing anyway? How is everybody on this Saturday evening? I've got to be honest with you, I'm quite pumped. I really am. I'm quite excited for the holiday season. I'm quite excited for the deals. I'm quite excited to see what Intel do next. I'm excited to see what the Battlemage GPUs come out like. Hopefully they come out before Christmas, or at least before the end of the year. I'm guessing they're not gonna. Although, I would not be entirely surprised if they did a early December launch. That, for me, I think would be a very, very good time. If they got the right product at the right price, at that time, they're going to take away a lot of the market share from AMD for the budget cards. And obviously, NVIDIA's got nothing in the budget range. So if you're looking at something for maybe a 4060, 4060 Ti, 4070, 4070 Super, you're looking at that kind of £400 to £600 range. And Intel come out with Battlemage, and it's like 230 watt TDP, similar performance for kind of 250 quid, 300 quid maybe. It's going to be a no-brainer, isn't it? I'm definitely going to get one. If it's 4070 Super like performance, and it's either 16 gigs or more, count me in. I'll be all over it, and I'll put it in my Intel rig. And I'll be a happy bunny, and I'll just have Intel drivers on my computer. Intel chipset, Intel LAN drivers, Intel Wi-Fi, Intel CPU, Intel GPU. Happy days. Just slap a big Intel sticker across my forehead. I love the underdog. I always do. And Intel are in this weird position now where they've been dominating for so long that they are now the underdog position. I'm really excited for it. Riley says, I am so chill listening to Mike. I'm almost nodding off to sleep. Thank you. I think. Oh dear. Skystalker says, my Amazon delivery went off the end of a runway at Vancouver this week. I did see that story mentioned, yeah. The Amazon airplane that does the kind of intercontinental, I guess it would be. Yeah, went off the end of the runway. That sucks. Charles Ballard says, I've got a 4-day weekend next week. Yay! It's, yeah, the holiday season is upon us. And was it Thanksgiving on the 28th? I think. I'm not sure. Obviously for us here in the UK, Christmas is the thing. But Thanksgiving, I know for America, is like a very, very, very big thing. So, anyway. We'll see. I'm not too sure what's going to happen. Hopefully you all have a really nice time through the festive season, and hopefully the world settles down a bit, and hopefully we get some cool stuff from Intel to play with. And there is, we've got, bloody hell, there's a super chat come in. That's a big one. Keith McAllister with his £50 super chat. I think Keith must have fell asleep on his keyboard and put too many zeros in. Thank you so much. Let's see what Keith says. So, Keith says, Dear Mike and Kath, I lost my wife over 1.5 years ago. Oh, so sorry to hear that. After 30 years of marriage. Used to build PCs, and I would build them, and my wife would format them, and yes, she was the brains of the operation. She would have loved your channel. Oh, that is so sweet of you to say. Funnily enough, Kath and I were very similar. So, back in the day, before we had YouTube and everything, I would build PCs for people, locally and what have you. And quite often, I would build them up, and then Kath would start the Windows installation. So I trained her up how to install Windows, or at least do the majority of that stuff. And I don't know why we stopped doing that. Why was that?
I don't know how to install Windows.
I did take you through it a couple of times. You did about... How many did you do?
I don't think I've done any.
You did. I definitely trained you on it. She's fully trained. It was so long ago, she probably thinks, oh God, blank that out from my memory. That was a horrible thing. But thank you. That is a very generous donation. Thank you very much, Keith. And myself, Kath, and the rest of the community would... yeah, sounds like we would have loved to have met and chatted to your wife about PC stuff. So sorry for your loss. David Ando says, I have a 7-day weekend every week. There, that's cool. Way Bob's saying, where's Dave the cat? I'm not sure. I think he's probably out getting soaked.
I think he's in by the fire. Actually.
He might be. Yeah, I think he's more.
Bag? He doesn't sit on that anymore.
No, he's not. Really. Charles Ballard says, yeah, this Thursday, the 28th. Awesome. So for those of you that are celebrating in the US, or if you've got family and friends in the US, the 28th is going to be cool. The 28th for me, I can always tell when it's Thanksgiving, because the day before, the views just go absolutely off the chart. It goes nuts. And you're like, oh, what's going on here? Then it's like, ah, yeah, of course. Thanksgiving. So everybody who's got a computer or picked up something or other, they base. Why is my PC going nuts? My fans are ramping up. Ah. I'm not sure. Is the stream actually still running? Because it looks like Chrome has just crashed. So that explains why that was going on. Yeah, Chrome has just crashed. Bear with me a moment. I'll just... That's so weird. Is it me, or has Chrome become almost a liability these days? Do you reckon they're trying to make it bad so people don't use it, so they don't have to split up the company? Anyway, there we go. Hopefully we're still live. Hello!
Jason wants us off.
Cheers, Jason. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Skystalker says, wow, very sweet, Keith. Sorry for your loss. My wife and I met through our love of computers as well. Awesome. There's a lot of love pouring out for Keith. Thank you, Keith. William Bodie says, question, Mike, did you tell that NVIDIA have new software without using the login to update, making the GPU faster? Yes, it does make the GPU slightly faster. If you look at on our channel, look up the there's a video for the NVIDIA app. I think I did it when it was still in beta, but it's essentially the same. Beta, whatever you want to say. It's the same thing. So yeah, you've got the options. You can log in if you want to, but you don't have to. And also it's got a GPU kind of self-overclocking thing. It takes absolutely forever. And to be honest with you, for the overclocking, you're probably better off just maxing the sliders out across anyway and just be done with it. Because they've got their own limits anyway, which they can and can't do. Viali is saying there to Aletta, I like Armoury Crate too. I never have problems with either. I actually use Armoury Crate on my PC now. Although I have noticed that Armoury Crate does swallow up quite a lot of CPU cycles, which is common. Like any RGB software is going to use process. So you will have a quieter, cooler, more efficient PC if you don't run Armoury Crate, you don't run MSI Center, you don't run Signal RGB, Open RGB, whatever it is, because they all do take their toll. Phil Stodd says, I work 2 days a week now, semi-retired. Every day I work is Friday for me. Every day I work is a Friday for me. I got it. Awesome stuff. Rick says, I tend to watch the stream on TV via its YouTube app and do the chat on the phone. That's very technically able. Rasha says, mine crashed too once, and now that Dave Aiken mentions it, it seems to be only on Mub streams. Are you hacking us, Mike? I wish I was. Well, I don't wish I was, because that would be poor form. But no, it's not me. And I've actually noticed, although, no, I actually haven't noticed. Have any of you got ads today? Normally it says on there, ad coming up, but I've not had any ads come on.
Add an ad.
But it says that the ads automator is on, which means I should get a preview saying that there is an advert coming. Do you want to cancel it?
I've had ads.
Have you? Okay. So yeah, you can technically do them. A says yes, had ads. Okay. Ads always, says David Underdrill. O'Reilly says yes. David Sullivan says, I pay for YouTube Premium. Awesome. Jay Gordon says yes, had a few. Okay. So that is kind of is a thing.
What is it in here now?
It is now 24.5 degrees Celsius, still at 61% humidity.
We haven't put any more logs on the fire.
I never see ads, just saying, says the ordinary dude. Rick H says, no ads so far. I use Firefox and UOrigin. Okay. Cool stuff. Now, another bargain, which I've seen this week, which is actually going back to the question earlier from, I think it was Jason Woods, saying about, is the AM4 platform dead? And I would say, as I said earlier, it's definitely not dead. And if there's people willing to buy it, then there are some bargains to be had. And one such bargain at the moment, again, this is in the chat, so if you want to check it out, you're more than welcome. And it is the MSI B550M Pro VDH, which is at the moment at what I can only consider as being a historically low price. And let me see if I've got any personal information on here. No, that's fine. Let's put the screen on, so stream desktop. So hopefully you can see that, yeah. Delivering to Bristol BS15. Yeah, we're in BS15, obviously. There we go. MSI B550M Pro VDH. Sorry, let's clear that chat off there. Thanks once again to Keith there for the super chat. So yeah, £69.98. Down from what was already cheap anyway, 85 quid. This was always basically the cheapest micro ATX motherboard for the AMD platform, which actually was worth buying. But now it's even cheaper, 70 quid. That's insane. Now, that board will, of course, take the latest and greatest processors if you wanted to. But what this would be really ideal for is something like a 5600 or maybe a 5700. That would make a really potent little system. It's got heatsinks on the VRM, so it's got a reasonable VRM there. The USBs aren't anything really to write home about, but if you maybe want to put an APU on here, maybe put on a 5600G and use it as a little kind of headless system, not headless system, as like a little GPU-less system, maybe put a GPU in at a later date. This is incredible value, £70. It's cracking. You really can't go wrong. You've got an M.2 shield. You've also got 4 RAM slots as well if you ever want to upgrade the RAM at a later date. You've got VGA, you've got DisplayPort, you've got HDMI, so you've got a full range of ports on there. You've also got the all-important BIOS flashback button. So if you do decide to buy a 5000 series processor and you're a bit concerned that it might not have the right BIOS on it, you can just press the BIOS flashback button and flash that sucker. And I think that was actually one of the first one of the first B550 boards we ever had on the channel, because at the time then it was excellent value for money, and it seems that it's £70, it still is. Really, really nice little board, and it's got addressable RGB, which some people I know are fans of, and the RGB is down here, I think, somewhere. Or was it?
I still just purchased 12 of those.
Wow.
I don't think like today.
They are really popular boards. They really, really are. Where is it? JRGB1, JRB2. Where is the addressable RGB? Oh, there we are. J Rainbow. So down in the bottom corner there, next to the RGB light switch, there's a J Rainbow connector, and you've got 4 SATA ports on there. Got USB 3.0 as well, Type-C front panel connection, plenty of fan headers, diagnostic D-LEDs. For 70 quid, get yourself a cheap little micro ATX case, you can build a cracking PC. You really can. So that again, I think, is one of the kind of more impressive bargains. Like 70 quid is great. That's cheaper than some of the B450 boards. Anyway, hopefully that might be up your street. Again, there are links for this in the video description, so if you want to check it out, you're more than welcome to do so. The links, I should say as well, are affiliated, so a very small portion of your payment will be sent from Amazon to us to furnish our pockets with, I think is it 0.5% now, or is it 1%? I think it's 0.5%, isn't it?
No.
It went down. It used to be like about 3 or 4% at times. And then it went down to like 2%. Then 1%, and I think it went down to 0.5%. So yeah, the commission we get isn't that much, let's be fair. But every little helps, so if you are shopping on Amazon or anything, feel free to have a look. Toe says, Mike, what did you think about my example 750 quid build on the Discord, only using Black Friday bargains? Anything you would change? I did have a look through it. I don't think... I can't remember the case. I would need to have a look. Let me see if I can find it. Actually, can you send me a link? Or just ping me with a link. I'll have a quick look now while we're going through it. If there's anything else on there which I think would be useful for the audience as well. David Under says, I get 4% for my Amazon links and 10% for Amazon Basics. Blimey. Utopia says, hey up. How you doing? Good to see you. Utopia says, I'm almost tempted. I could sell my B550 ITX, B50 ITX to get the cash, looking to move away from ITX. Sorry?
Can't even see where the list of it all is now.
Yeah, they used to send an email out every now and then with the updated things. Christ, 4% for Amazon. I think for homewares and maybe some clothing possibly, we might get a little bit higher commission. But generally for PC stuff, digital goods, all that kind of stuff, it's like 1.5%. Excuse me.
Can't even see where it is.
David Under says, my MSI Pro VDH Wi-Fi rocks. The Ryzen 5600G works great. Nice. Yeah, that's what I was going to say actually about that setup. So, get yourself a 5600G, stick it on that board. It's a cracking little system. Don't need a GPU. 5600G is fine without a GPU for the majority of games, and if you're running 1080p low settings, it's going to be absolutely fine. Stick in 16 gigs of RAM, maybe 32 gigs. It's going to be a nice little system, and it's not costing you a lot of money. And also, if you don't need Wi-Fi, or you're like going to buy yourself a Wi-Fi card anyway, it's 30 quid cheaper. So the Pro VDH Wi-Fi is £99 at the moment. So £30 more expensive. And the only difference being is you get the Wi-Fi card installed. You can quite easily buy the Wi-Fi card separately yourself, or just get a cheap and cheerful like plug-in USB one for a tenner. If you need the Wi-Fi, that is. Right, Toog has put that on there. Open app. There we go. Right, so this is Toog's affiliate linked Ryzen build. So Ryzen 7 5700X3D, 120 quid. Yep, can't go wrong with that. That was right. The MSI B550M motherboard, £70, the one we've just mentioned. So yeah, that's excellent. Corsair Vengeance LPX DDR4 32 gig RAM kit, £42 at the moment. That's not bad. MSI Mag Pano M100R PZ White Micro ATX PC case, 70 quid. That immediately, I would probably go with an ATX case. Just to save some money, because mini or micro ATX cases, although they can be slightly good for space saving, if you then want to upgrade later on, you're going to be limited to either going down towards ITX, in which case that makes no sense because you're probably better off with ITX chassis. If you want to go to ATX, where the bargains generally are, or the higher spec boards are, you might struggle. And also you can possibly get something like the Montech 903 Air Max for like 60 quid, which is a massive case with fans, loads of air cooling potential. But the MSI Mag Pano is a good shout. Corsair RM750X 750 watt power supply, 80 quid at the moment. The RX 6800 16 gigs, 310. Yeah, the RX 6800 16 gig card is a great card, really worth the money. That is going to be the one which Intel will be competing with when it comes out. The lower end Intel one will probably be in the ballpark performance wise of that, I think. And if it comes in at like £250, potentially nice. Thermalright Assassin X120 SE ARGB cooler. Yep, that's pretty much always on my list of bargain parts. £15 at the moment. So that comes in at £707 currently for all those items. And the Wi-Fi card, Linksys dual band, Bluetooth antenna, blah, blah, 20 quid. Oh, and a Kingston NV3 1TB NVMe, 41 quid. Yeah, you can't go too far wrong on that. I think you got some pretty awesome bits and pieces there. Hard to really challenge any of that other than the case, but it is a nice looking case. I will give you that. But 70 quid for a micro ATX case does make me a little bit jittery. But other than that, yeah, great stuff. Where else do we get to? David Andrews says, my 5600G system is used for the control of my ham radio, Yamaha keyboard, 3D printer, so not so heavy CPU needs. Makes a lot of sense. Did I miss something there? Nope, I'm good. Mark Gaines. Hello, Mike's Unboxing Reviews now too. Just got in from getting my car MOT. Nice. That's late. What garage did you go to? That they're working until 10 o'clock at night. Ordinary Dude says, I have a 5700G system for my Linux box. Very good. Excellent stuff. Right, let's. I'm going to have a look at this Corsair cooler because I am intrigued about the IQ Link. So for those of you that haven't seen this before in any real depth, then well, actually, what was I going to do? Leo says, hi Mike, that water cooler you have there looks really nice. Well, potentially you could win it. This is going to be given away. This actual unit with possibly cat hairs. Cat hairs we're not going to charge extra for. You get those as part of the deal. I do try my best to make sure that they don't get cat hairs on stuff, but we've got 6 cats. Come on, give me a break. Even with 1 cat, it would be hard. But with 6, it's just impossible. I vacuum the house, top to bottom, every day. Well, not when I say top to bottom, like most surfaces. Yeah, I do it basically until either the electric vacuum thinks like it's going to be costing me a fortune, or the battery vacuum has run out of battery. It's a smallish house as well. Raja Kick says hi, just dropping in. An awesome stream. Thank you very much. Nero says, hello Mike, Kath and Mubsters. How you doing? Okay, so this was donated to the channel by Andy Archer. Thank you very much, Andy. And I think he bought one of these for himself as well. These, at the moment, if you're looking for the IQ Link H100i, this, I believe, at the moment on Amazon.co.uk is about £85. I probably do need to check that, actually. Let me have a quick look. Amazon UK.
Mark Gaines says it's Northern Ireland. We have a backlog of MOTs. We're different here.
Northern Ireland.
Andy the legend.
Andy is a legend. He actually is. Where are we? LCD. Is this the LCD one? No, RGB. RGB. There we go. And it's the black version. So this at the moment is actually £82.55 at the time of this video being made. Let's go to that screen a minute. So where are we? Stream desktop. So there we go. Corsair IQ Link H100i RGB liquid CPU cooler, 240mm AIO with the QX120 RGB fans. Fits Intel LGA 1700. So that's also going to include LGA 1851 if you're mad enough. AMD, AM4 and AM5 obviously, and it uses the IQ Link system hub, which is included. And they do it in black and white. The white version is a little bit more expensive, $89.99. Black version, $82.55. Actually, that's a used one, so they don't have a new one. So I guess the new ones must be the same price. Anyway, you don't need to worry about that because we'll be sending it to you anyway. Let's go to the main camera. So, what is it all about? So, IQ Link is a new way of basically connecting up all your RGB devices. So, rather than using the old-fashioned 3-pin 5-volt addressable RGBs or using the proprietary Corsair connectors, this actually uses a connector which is very similar to USB Type-C, but it transmits data within its own ecosystem. So you can have loads of fans, loads of hubs, loads of controllers, loads of bits and pieces in your system, all on the IQ setup, but you don't have to worry about new cables. You just daisy chain stuff onto the system as you need to. Let's take a look and see what we get inside. For most people, this is not going to be a very kind of scientific approach to what we're doing here. So I'm just going to take it out of the box and have a look at it. So you get a security information. Actually, let's do this on the overhead camera. That would make more sense, wouldn't it? So in the packaging, what we've got here, so we've got our accessories or our leads. So these are the leads that are used to connect up various devices. So you've got a PCI Express type connector there, which then terminates into the Corsair 6-pin. And what's that I dropped down there? There is a 3-pin to 2-pin, whatever that is. I guess that's going to be a pump sense wire. So yeah, lots of interesting stuff here. And you've got these almost like USB type connections, but they're a bit wider. So like a wider USB Type-C. But these are proprietary to Corsair. And what's this one in here? There's a couple more adapters. So for daisy chaining or linking fans. So if you've maybe got 3 fans along the top or 2 fans along the top and 1 down the back, you can use this to kind of daisy chain between them. And also there is the USB 2 header, which then goes to a micro USB as well. And I've dropped something. These look like they are for joining connections together. I can get the last one out. Oh my goodness, that's in the bottom. So that's some sort of blanking plug. I'm not entirely sure what that is. So some interesting stuff here. Honestly, this is the first time I'm seeing any of this stuff, because the Corsair ecosystem I find to be a little bit on the expensive side for me. I don't quite have the deep enough pockets to go all in on Corsair, especially with this new system, because it is actually quite expensive. So I just checking my microphone then. I think that microphone clicked off there for some reason. Right, what do we got here? I'm guessing that is the radiator itself. Got the pump block. Wow, that is very pretty. So all the cabling is kind of passed down through, by the looks of it, from the top. And the base plate is kind of pre-attached, and also thermal paste is also pre-applied. Hopefully you can just about see that on there. Let's clear the chat from the top there. So that's all very nice. And this mount, so these just pull out from the side, so depending on what you're using, whether you're using Intel or whether you're using AMD. So this is the Intel mount, which is currently installed on there as the kind of standard setup. And on this other side, you've got the Corsair logo, which is RGB. So that's going to light up in all of your RGB colors, give you all that kind of stuff. And you've got a nice outer glow around the outside edge as well. You can probably see that better actually from the website, but I'll give you an idea of what it looks like. What else have we got here? This looks like a bag of pharmaceuticals. No, it's some adhesive there. So a couple of little sticky stickers. This, I'm guessing, is going to be the control box. So that is the the link box. So this takes in the 2-pin connector, the micro USB, and also the power. And then you've got the connector on the outside. So basically you've got one connector in, one out, or 2 ports effectively. And you can just take 2 ports out there and just daisy chain it around the rest of your system. So that's a little bit nicer than what we used to get with the Corsair hubs, where you had the Commander Pro, which was huge. Whereas you don't need all those ports now, because obviously you just use the plug-in ports on the side. So that's kind of nice and neat. And doesn't take up a lot of room, and it's actually not very deep either. So if you've got a slightly thinner looking case, narrower sections, then it should still fit in very nicely. And actually, I quite like the fact that they've used paper rather than using plastic. It's quite a nice touch. Oh, saying that. Now the AM4 and AM5 brackets are in here. Those are in a plastic bag, but it is at least resealable. And then you've got your Intel hardware there for the 115X and the 1200. So the slightly older Intel stuff. Still being supported, which is nice. And let's take this thing out. I think the fans, it looks like the fans are actually pre-attached, which is nice. Oh, actually, those are very nice. So let's put the tubes around the side there. So with these are the QX120 fans. So you've got the outer ring, which is illuminated. You also got the inner ring, which is illuminated. So you've got lighting on the inside, lighting on the outside. And also you've got a little bit of a bleed through on the outside edges, either side. Very cool. And on the end there, so you've got your male and female ends for the IQ Link. So you can daisy chain those across. And also, you've also got on this end as well. So you've got your USB Type-C plug, which can go in there. You've also got your IQ Link ports there.
Super chat's still on there.
Whose is?
Oh yeah. Like at the top.
Nuts. So that is a very nice bit of kit. I actually do quite like Corsair stuff. They do present their stuff very nicely. And yeah, the fact that all the wiring goes down to the pump head, so there's basically nothing you can do on the pump head. There's nothing to plug in. All the wiring is done up to the top here. So this is going to make for a very neat installation. But yeah, that is very nice. So massive thanks to Andy for sending this over to us to have a little look at. I'm actually debating whether or not to even install this. I might just do the giveaway, just so as I don't damage it or do anything to it which would be potentially destructive. And also, because the paste is pre-applied and all that kind of stuff, I think it'd be nice to give someone the cooler in A1 factory condition, other than possibly the odd cat hair or two, and possibly a slightly ripped Corsair bag. That unfortunately is very much on me. Putting that on reminded me of my youth. Calf's face then. That was bloody excellent. How does that go in there? Yeah. Why does that not want to go in there? Am I being a little bit dim? Did anyone see how this came out? Ah, yeah, I think it went in like that. Oh, that's right, yeah, because that other bag was in there, wasn't it? Yeah. So that is right. I'm going to stuff that back in there, but I'm not going to touch it. That's it. We're done. Happy days. So that is the Corsair IQ Link H100 RGB, donated to the channel by the legend that is Andy Archer. So much appreciated. Thank you so much for that. And this will be hopefully winging its way to somebody this side of Christmas, depending on where in the world they actually are. Really nice packaging as well. Corsair do really good packaging. So yeah, this is part of the IQ Link smart ecosystem. It is very smart looking as well. Excellent stuff.
It hurts.
Hey?
Smart means hurt.
How does it? Yeah. Right, I'm going to put that somewhere safe.
Smart on me.
So there we go. Right, have I missed anything?
In the Discord, I've put everything.
All right, Cass put everything in the Discord, so have a look.
You can choose what you say though.
John David Sullivan says their cases have gone downhill though. I would be very tempted to agree with you on that. Yes, you're not wrong. A says, hi mate, really appreciate your videos. You're one of the content creators that have inspired me to do my first PC build. Picked up a Gigabyte RX 7800 XT gaming OC for £390 on Amazon. Can't wait. That sounds like a pretty awesome deal. 390, anything under £400 for a RX 7800 XT is a good price. I paid almost £500 for mine, and I've still basically not used it. I used it for a couple of weeks. A also asks, Bristol City or Rovers, Mike? I'll be honest with you, neither. I don't really follow football. I used to like playing football when I was younger. Played for a couple of kind of junior teams. At the time, if anything, I would have been more of a Rovers person, mainly because most of my friends were, my neighbours, so they're Rovers fans, so sometimes I got dragged along to a game. Didn't really enjoy watching football. I much prefer playing it. Although in later life, my stepdad was a City fan and had like a season ticket, and I never went to that either. So I'm not either really, but I can say that I would support both teams in anything they do in either of the leagues that they're in. And I think football's one of those games where it's more of I'd go local level first of all, who my support would naturally be with, so it would be both teams in this instance, and then it would be kind of like the national team. So those would be the ones I would be interested in. I find it a little bit weird where people live in different areas but support another team. So like if you live in Edinburgh and you support Liverpool, I think it's good, it's great that people do that, but it always seems a little bit weird. But if you've moved around the world and moved around different countries, then I guess that would affect it. But yeah, I've always assumed that you would naturally support your local team, like you would support your national team. But that's just me. Maybe I'm old-fashioned. Maybe I'm just weird. Maybe I'm on the spectrum. Who knows? So I've done Toja's question. Waterfellon. That's a good name. Waterfellon asks, any plans to review new Antec Flux or Flux Pro cases? This is going to be where I go on to one of my rants. I can see it happening. I see it reviewed, many positive feedback, but I've been wondering, what is your opinion on it? Well, personally, I would love to be able to share my opinion on that case with all of you lovely people out there in viewerland. Unfortunately, I have tried on numerous occasions to reach out to Antec UK and also Mr. Henderson, who I believe is now the rep for Antec UK, and I'm basically getting ghosted at every turn. So actually on Friday, I believe it was, maybe Thursday, possibly Friday. I think it was yesterday. Antec UK posted a post about the Gamers Nexus doing review and cases, etc. So I actually basically publicly, openly pleaded with them to get in touch with me for review cases. I don't want them to give me a case, I just want them to send me one to review. I'll send it back after, I don't care. But it's one of those things. So I've asked them numerous occasions, I've emailed them directly, I've messaged them directly on Facebook. There's very little else I can do other than walking up to their headquarters and stomping on the door. So I did put a stamping on the door, sorry, or banging on the door. So in our Discord, I'll put a link now. In our Discord yesterday, I basically ranted a little bit and said, please help me. So I posted a link to the post on Facebook and was asking Discord members if they would please go to Antec UK's Facebook page or wherever and just mention Mike's Unboxing, or say you've watched the channel and you think that it would be good to see one of their products on the channel. Because there's little else I can do other than getting a little bit of pressure from the viewers. Other than that, I'm screwed. And I would genuinely love to review their cases. I was a massive fan of Antec back in the day. Some of the old Lancool cases, the Lamboy, the 900 series was one which was especially fond of. The 900, 901, 902 and the various revisions of it. A great case. Antec were really on top of the market back then. The P160, that was one that I had. I didn't have the P180. I always liked that one, never had it. But the P160, Performance 1, it was excellent. So, yes, unfortunately, I would very much love to see things like the C8, the, what was it called? The Flux and Flux Pro. I think they're really nice cases. There's a lot to like about them. They're pretty good prices and they perform very well. So naturally, I would like to have them on the channel to be able to have a look for myself and express my feelings on it. But yeah, we have limited funds, and also we do appear to be being, for some reason, I don't know why, Antec just don't want to acknowledge us. Whether we're getting stuck in spam or I don't know. I honestly don't know what the deal is, but it does seem that they're just not interested at all, which I think is a shame. So it might get to the point where I was going to have to go and buy a case, but then I've got a case that I need to do something with and space, etc. So if they want to send a case, review it, put it back in the box, stick a label on it, go back to them. So it's not even going to cost them anything. I'll do the review free of charge, as I do all the reviews. There's not much else I can do. Like, I'm begging them at this point just to see something a little bit different on the channel. Like, we love doing the thermal take stuff, don't get me wrong, but it's nice to see a little bit more balanced stuff, so see other brands on the channel. We've done a bit with Montec, we've done a bit with Techwear, we've done a bit with a couple of other brands. Game Max, obviously. So, yeah, it'd be nice to see Antec as part of that mix. So, yeah, that is my opinion on it. Hopefully, thanks, Dave.
Hello.
I agree, Dave. Hopefully, at some point, they will give in to either public pressure or just feeling sorry for me. Like, the cases, like, they're, what they are, best part of 100 quid. It's not a massive amount of money for a company. I would imagine, hey Dave, if we do the review, I would imagine over the life of the video it's going to get multiple tens of thousands of views. I'd be surprised if it didn't. A lot of cases, especially the more popular ones, do get some really good views. Even things like the GameX F15, which was a classic, I think that's had like 70,000 views. So there's a lot of people watching the videos. Or potentially there can be. So yeah, it would make sense for them. It's free. I don't charge to do the reviews. Never have, never will do.
Dave might
Well,
even feature.
I might do. Dave might even feature in the case.
We came home from the shops one day and he was inside a case we were
He did, yeah.
reviewing.
I had a case on the table. We went down to the shops to get some food, and Dave crawled in through the ATX power supply slot or hole, and he was just inside there next to the tempered glass, like waving out to us.
And
Like,
Candy was sat on the roof.
yeah, and Candy was on the top. They were double deckering. It was great. Anyway, so Walter Felon, thank you for bringing it up, and thanking you, you viewers, for allowing me to have a little rant on that. I think it sucks. I think it does genuinely suck that they don't seem to like what we do here. And I think I'm pretty honest and fair. If a case is nice, I will say it. If there's things I think could be improved, I'll say it. I'm not going to beat around the bush, and I'm not beholden to anyone. So maybe that is what it is. They don't want any potential negativity. But hey ho. Zero Defects says get in touch with Fractal. I think we did try getting in contact with Fractal a long time ago, but I don't think Fractal have been particularly relevant in the PC space for a little while now. I'm not sure what happened there, because Fractal were like killing it. They were on every YouTube channel, and like every case review thing was like, Dave, what's the matter? They were everywhere, but yeah, they're not. They don't seem to be doing that anymore.
Come on, you on with all next?
Rasher says, Mike, I sent you a contribution on PayPal so you don't get ripped off by YouTube. Oh, bless you. That is very kind of you. I don't even know where my phone is.
I don't. I got mine here.
I had a phone once. That's something else I need to do. I need to replace my phone this year, I think. It's starting to get a bit slow. My iPhone XR is done well. Oh, there we go. Let's have a look. Where's that? Oh, there we go. So got a £20 super chat from Rasher. He sent it in the form of a PayPal donation. So thank you very much for that. That is awesome. You're a lovely man. And Dukemans is in the house. Better late than never. How you doing? John David Simmons says Fractal would be a good shout. A letter says to Charles Ballard, funny how fast 30 years can zip by. Tell me about it. I've been thinking that very recently. A letter said, if I had a channel that reviewed PC cases, I'd smash the bad ones with a sledgehammer. If I had the room, I would probably do that. It's a bit wasteful though, but it's a good idea. Thanks for the donation, Rasher. Much appreciated. John David Sullivan says, to be fair, Steve is pretty honest too. Steve is honest, but I know this is going to upset some people, but I do think that he's living in somewhat of a price bubble. Like, their budget cases are basically $100. Now, for me, and probably actually quite a few people watching, £100 or $100 is a lot of money to spend on a computer case. I think a lot of people are much more comfortable in the kind of £40 to £60 mark. In 60 being the kind of almost the upper region. And I totally get it. I'm the same. Whenever I'm looking for cases, even now that I've got potential opportunities to like review, well, for some manufacturers, quite expensive cases, but I still, whenever I'm looking for myself, it's always that kind of budget, even down to £30, like £30 to £60, maybe 70. That is the kind of sweet spot for me, because ultimately a case is just a housing for all your parts. Now, yeah, I know it's nice if it can look nice and it's got fans included. That's why things like the GameMax F15, absolutely astonishing case, 60 quid or 70 quid depending when you bought it. Really nice layout, basically the same as the Lian Li 215. Two big 200mm fans up front, RGB controllers, loads of room, cracking case, 70 quid. Money very, very well spent. And actually, I think a lot of people found this channel from the GameMax case review, because it got to a point where it was kind of everything you wanted in a case, but at a sensible price.
Ghost Adder just came in and he thought you meant Dave Aiken was crawling into the PC.
Dave Aiken didn't crawl into the PC. It was the other Dave.
I don't know if Ghost Adder knows we've got a Dave.
Oh, right. Yes, Dave the cat. Viali 100 says, get a decent phone mic. Android. The thing is with Android, I've had this internal conflict going on for ages. I prefer Android in terms of the more open ecosystem and the variety of choice. But also, I see it time and time again. Like Matthew Day, if you're still watching, sorry, this is about you. Ears may burn. Almost every year, Black Friday time, Matthew's like, I need to get a new phone, or I want to get a new phone, or my phone's starting to feel a bit sluggish, I need to get an upgrade. And he'll buy a kind of somewhere around £100, £150 phone. Kind of mid-range-ish, low to mid-range Android phone. You can get some pretty decent deals, to be fair. And I used to do it myself. The Xiaomi Mi A1, the Xiaomi Mi A2.
And your Bush.
Both, we had a phone from Bush, made by Argos. From Argos, made by Bush, which is an old British brand, which was around years and years ago. Loads of Android phones over the period. The Moto G4, lots of them. And I was in the same position. I would be thinking, I'll get a phone for about 150 quid. And I would keep on doing that almost every year, because either they didn't last, or they got slow, or they stopped doing updates for it, or the updates or security patches took months to come out. And it got to the point, it's like, I use my phone for work, effectively, answering YouTube questions, answering emails, replying to UPS or DPD or whatever it is, informing them of stuff. It's basically a workhorse. So I don't play games on it, ever.
I do.
Maybe the snooker, no, 8-ball pool. I think I played that a little bit. Not much, though. But
Google went off then.
That was kind of it, yeah. 8-ball pool. Yeah, so that is basically it. And I do like to have the security on my phone. So having the Apple more locked ecosystem, I feel is beneficial. Because
another main thing was you doing those AirPod things, and nothing would pair with it very well. Yeah.
Also, generally, if you've got an iPhone, it just kind of works. If you're buying another device, a Bluetooth device, a Bluetooth speaker, Bluetooth headset, it's going to work with an iPhone, realistically. If you get a problem with Android, it's because they've implemented some weird stuff in terms of their Bluetooth protocols, which every manufacturer is at their own option to do so. So for someone who reviews products or did do a lot of like headphones and speakers back in the day, it was an absolute pain in the ass. Like I'd be on the email to someone who'd sent some earpods, but I can't get them to pair. They're like, well, what are you using? It's like, well, I'm just using, what was it back then? It'd be a Xiaomi Mi 1. And they're like, oh, have you got an iPhone? It's like, well, no, I haven't.
But you do it on mine and it'd work straight away.
Kath had an iPhone at the time. Get hers, pairing mode, boom, paired, working.
Same with you.
It's like, I can't keep doing this all the time. It's just a pain in the ass.
Using a pink phone. Look at the videos.
I was. If you watch some of the videos, you'll know I've got a pink iPhone because that was Kath's phone at the time.
And also, I've forgotten now. Oh yeah, Fitbits and stuff wouldn't work, would it? Sync and
Fitbits were an absolute nightmare. The Fitbit Charge 2, amount of stress trying to use that on an Android phone just wasn't worth it. Really wasn't worth it. So that is why I ultimately went over to the iPhone. Also as well, like I was spending 150 to 200 quid a year, roughly, on an Android phone. Whereas I bought the iPhone XR almost when it came out, so 600 and change, like 610 I think it was.
But then about 2 weeks later you bought mine.
Yeah, then I bought Kath one on a contract, weird contract for like 350 I think it was.
And you cancelled the contract after 1 month.
Yeah, cancelled the contract after a month and it was like half the price. So anyway, I digress. I bought that. That is elite. I'm pretty sure that's 6 years ago. And I've been using it every day as my daily driver ever since. So at the moment it stands me in at like 100 quid a year. And it's been pretty much flawless all that time. And it's still getting security updates. You find me an Android phone, this 6 years old, which is still working, still usable, and still getting security updates. It's unlikely. Yeah, you might do from possibly Samsung, maybe Pixel phone, some of the kind of high tier brands. But if you're buying anything like Xiaomi, Huawei, I'm trying to think of other cheap brands, those kind of the cheaper brands, you just don't get the support because as soon as they've released the phone, they're already on the next version or planning the next version. So it's like, well, how many of these do we sell? Well, a couple of 100,000, right? Forget that then, because they don't care. They really don't care. And it's not like Android can just pump out the updates. They have to be signed off by the manufacturer in order to get it to install. At least that is how it used to be. I think there was a thing more recently where they could opt in to this other system where they would get updates regardless, but I don't think that has been used by hardly anybody.
With Apple, every time you update, your battery declines badly.
Orden Dew says precisely why I switched to iPhones too. And that is it. When you're buying an iPhone, people are going to hate me for saying it, I know, and I understand it. I don't want to use an iPhone. I would much prefer to use an Android. Hell, I'd love to use a Windows phone if I could. That would be my ideal goal, because I use a Windows PC. Give me a Windows phone, because then I got the same experience on my phone and also my PC. That makes sense. But that is kind of where you are with the Apple ecosystem. If you're in that ecosystem, if you've got a MacBook, if you've got a Mac Mini, Mac Pro, whatever it is, it's all just seamlessly works together. And you get updates. Again, I think the iPhone XR is still good for another year updates, maybe 2. I think it's getting towards the end of that kind of cut-off point. But 6, nearly 7 years on a phone, 600 quid, 100 quid a year. Rock solid, fully supported by basically every application on the planet and pretty much every Bluetooth device. It's kind of hard to argue with that. for that value and the longevity. The longevity for me is awesome. But there you go. That's my take on it. And hopefully you understand where I'm coming from with that. I'm not like some kind of iPhone snob. I don't like using iPhone. I would much rather not have it, but it's inherently more secure because it's a more locked ecosystem. It gets much better support than 90% of all Android phones. Pretty much everything is designed with iPhone in mind. It's like, those are three pretty compelling reasons. Now, obviously, you got the reasons against it. It's bloody expensive for what it is, but if you look at flagship devices like the S24 or the Pixel 9s, that sort of stuff, they're like £1,000. Same as the iPhone. So who wins? I don't know.
William Bodie, Mike is a snob using Apple and drives a BMW. He rarely drives it.
I rarely drive the BMW, and the BMW is a 2008 model. It's like 15 years old. It's a 15-year-old car. And I only drive that because it's basically built like a tank. It refused to die.
Well, it almost did.
Ordinary Dude says, I'll be getting a Mac Mini sometime soon. Now that they've upgraded to 16 gigs of RAM, I'm actually tempted to get one. The Mac Mini I had before, the M3 Mac, I sent back because I just couldn't cope with that 8 gigs of RAM. It was a limiting factor, especially when I tried to edit videos, it just fell apart. Nice. It's a nice ecosystem. It really is, unfortunately.
But I don't like that if you don't sign up to their iTunes, it won't let you take your photos off your phone.
Yeah.
That is like
that is a bit bad, isn't it? Nick Byron says, I think my Samsung Note 8 was 2 years from when it was launched, so buying year after I only had 12 months of 12 months of updates. That's it, yeah. Dutch Jan says, I just hate Apple. I understand. I honestly do. I genuinely understand. But when it comes to... sorry, I just read a comment there. That was a great one. John David Sullivan says, Mike is just the UK version of Marquise Brownlee. I don't go speeding around schools. So, no, that isn't me. As soon as I see a Marquise video come out now, I go straight to it. I don't even watch the video or listen to it. I just look at the comments. Because it is a train wreck. I feel sorry for him in some respects, but then I don't. Because he was driving at 95 miles an hour in a school zone. So, dick. I've got a gift for that. David Thompson says, after the Apple IIe, Apple Gear went right downhill. It kind of did. Roderick says, I had my Xiaomi Mi 9 Pro 5 plus years, working well as day one, in pristine condition. Would only update given no choice. Is it still getting security updates, like on a reasonably fast turnaround? Because that was my biggest problem with Android. Like, I'd read the news, being obviously doing tech stuff for a living. I read the security news because that's a big deal for a lot of people, especially like online banking. And our phones are basically an extension of our wallets these days. So you don't want to be too kind of flippant with what you're doing on your phone. So I'd look at it and it'd be like, blah, 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 Android bug found. Google to say they will fix it, blah, blah, blah. Updates coming shortly. And then even if I had what do I have at the time? I had a Nokia phone, I think, or some Nokia. And Nokia were like a direct partner with Android, as were Xiaomi for the Mi A1 and A2, because they were basically a bone stock Android experience, and they promised updates for, I think it's 2 years, maybe 3. But then I got it, and it's like, okay, so there's this big banking thing going on at the moment where there's a weakness in Android. It's basically was August or something. We're now in October, and I still haven't had the update. What's going on? Now, whether it's down to Xiaomi, whether it's down to Nokia, whether it's down to Google, I honestly don't care.
But you didn't even have a banking app on your phone.
It doesn't bother. PayPal, though.
I suppose. I don't even have that.
So like there's definitely sensitive stuff on my phone which I wouldn't want getting out. Like I do eBay shopping on there, I do Amazon shopping on there. So there's things like gift card certificates and stuff which are stored on there. There was valuable stuff in there which I felt uncomfortable using an Android phone because of the lack of security updates. Whereas with Apple now, pretty much if you read about it in the news, if you go to your settings and click on update, it'll be, oh, there's an update available. Do you want to do it? It's like, okay, seems like a pretty bloody good idea to me.
Oh, I never done.
Why are we not at the point where, like Windows, you log in, your Windows Defender does an update every day to get a new virus signature thing? Surely that's the way that phones should be. But
no, it shouldn't be.
Anyway.
You should have the choice.
Mikey is Shirley. That's me. Let's have a look, see what I've missed. Let's see what you... James Miscellaneous, I had a security solicitor contact me on my personal phone. I got pissed at him. Don't blame you. Johnny G says hi. How you doing?
Was it flamey?
David Underhill says I had a Google Pixel 2. Google stopped support 18 months after I got it. Bloody useless. See, that is the kind of story that I generally tend to hear. Now, there's some people that just don't care about security updates or updates in general for the app. Like, I think I've got a... Actually, I've got a box there, haven't I? I've got a Nokia phone. I don't know why I even bought it, really. It was just a stupid thing. It's like a C50, I think, Nokia C50. And I thought, I'll get it, just see what Android is like. And I actually have got it. I normally charge it up upstairs by the bedroom. And every now and then I turn in the bedroom, and I turn it on every now and then just to see if there's updates and stuff like that. And generally it's like a couple of months behind all the time still. And this is a newer Nokia phone. I'm sure it's either the C35 or the C50, but it just isn't as good as it should be. And they do some bizarre stuff where they say it's got 8 gigs of RAM, but it hasn't. It's got like 4 gigs of RAM, plus it can use extra 4 gigs of storage to make RAM. It's like, okay. So you never quite know what you're getting, especially on the cheaper end of the market. Mark Gaines says, Mike, have you ever had a Sony Xperia? Yes, I did. I had a... It was one of the very early Xperias that was pretty good for a camera phone. That was around about 2010, 2011, I think. Maybe even 2012. Was it an Xperia M1? That seems to ring a bell. It was around about the time that the Pokemon came out in the VR. So you could go around doing that sort of stuff. Already do, there you go. I have an original iPhone SE that still gets regular updates. It's my backup phone. Yeah. Utopia says, yes, the Pixel 9 is guaranteed updates for 7 years. That's good, but are they timely? Like, I can say to you as a subscriber to Mike's Unboxing, I will guarantee you videos for the next 7 years. But if it's only one a year, it's pretty crap. So when they say that they're supporting a device, they're supporting their support. Now, I'm not saying that Apple are brilliant, because clearly they're not. But in terms of security, which I value, they do a pretty good job. Maybe Samsung do a good job. I haven't used a Samsung phone since the Galaxy S7. I think that was the last phone I had that was a Samsung. And I didn't like the Samsung operating system. I think it's a bit like every app was duplicated for some reason with their own version of it. It's like, I know you can get rid of stuff like that, but back then you couldn't. Anyway, moving on. Rasher says, are people ever affected by malware on phones? Well, that's the kind of the big question, isn't it? Some people clearly are, because you read about it and they say they've had their credentials taken. But yeah,
you read quite a lot of other stuff that isn't necessarily true.
Yeah, many things in life possibly don't happen, but it is a concern, I think, personally. John David Sullivan says you'd spend the entire day updating things is bad enough already.
Oh, William, we think you're funny.
Why, what did he say?
William's being funny since Ugly Bob is never here.
Oh, thank you.
For its BMW jokes.
Oh, right.
And
no, that's fine.
iPhone snob.
I am an iPhone snob, I think, actually. I like... No, but I am as well.
People
to
pleaser.
some... Huh?
People pleaser.
I'm not a people pleaser, but I think an iPhone is a status symbol, I think. However you look at it, when you see an iPhone, it gives you a preconception of that person. Whether that's right or wrong, it does to some extent. And if you see someone with a budget Android, it gives you a similar sort of thing. Like, if you... I work in retail. So if someone comes in and they're looking or asking for a quote for something, and they're using like 150 quid Android, I'm going to be thinking... Budget. Whereas if they come in and they got the latest iPhone 16 Ultra Pro, I think either A, they're a drug dealer, or B, they got some money.
Or C, they're in debt.
Or C, they're in debt and they don't mind getting further in debt, so they don't mind spending. So, yeah, it's a... I don't know. David Underhill says, iPhone owner equals snob equals twat. I think there are a lot of these opinions and people do think that, but ultimately, I don't care. If people want to use Android, that's up to them. It's their prerogative. I'm just stating why I like to use an iPhone and the reasons. If someone says I use an Android and this is why I like using Android, that's
I did have to force you
absolutely
to go
fine.
iPhone, to be fair.
Yeah, Kath was the one who forced me. I didn't want to do it. But again, for reviews, for making stuff work, for the simplicity, for apps that all just work.
It was because we didn't...
It's just easier life.
We didn't get a phone signal in our house very good, so it was easier for you to have iPhone, so we could do iMessages through Wi-Fi rather than phone signal. Wasn't it?
Keith McAllister says, what put me off buying an iPhone was I couldn't add memory. Yeah, that is definitely a concern that a lot of people have. And the way that Apple charge for memory upgrades is outrageous.
TouchJam doesn't have a smartphone.
Good for you.
I don't really want one.
I don't really want one, but you kind of got it in certain jobs. Dave Aiken says, iPhones being the expensive option is a dated opinion. It's dated, but the market is dated. And it is. There's a lot of truth to it.
But it depends on what iPhone
But
you've got, though, to be honest.
Again, you got the Samsung Galaxy S24, really expensive. You got the Pixel 9, really expensive. You got the iPhone, really expensive. So it kind of, that's what I mean. If you see someone with an obviously cheap Android phone, or you see someone with a obviously expensive iPhone, you can kind of sort of tell something about them. Either they like quality or they like spending money.
If you see someone using cash, you just know that they're clever. And they've got...
Dave Aiken says, pretty much all major brand match their base pricing. Yeah. Apple don't. I don't think they kind of get into that territory, apart from the SE, which I think is their kind of base level model. But there's still considerably more than any base level Android device. Dukeman says, or it's a company phone. Yeah, there is that. But if you work at the BBC, which me and Kath did, basically if you get a phone, it's an iPhone. And basically almost...
And it's old.
I would say probably 80 to 90% of all the people in the BBC had iPhones. Because again, it was one of those status symbols then, like, oh, expensive phone on a contract. Or the fact that you wanted to use the BBC app for something. They had their own like app and it basically didn't work on Android.
But the one they gave you was like, you had an iPhone 5 and I think we weren't even up there with the top ones, were we? And I had an iPhone 7 at the time.
Yeah.
So it was way behind.
Rasher says the S24 Ultra is €1,500 here in Ireland. Ali K says, I'm going to cancel your TV license now. I suggest you do. I suggest all of you cancel your TV licenses immediately. If you don't use
We
TV.
do.
We did ages
We
ago.
don't watch it or use it or pay for it. It's been 4 years now.
Yeah. Nick Barnes says, my oldest son gave my youngest son his old Apple XS Max. Lovely phone, but screen failed. Shock was I could buy an OLED screen for 80 quid and fit it myself. I can't do that with my Samsung phones we have in the family. That's another thing as well. If you are into repairing your own devices, obviously the Apple market is a huge, huge market. So if you need anything for it, screen protector, case, spare parts, battery, motors, whatever, it's really easy to get parts for. Whereas with Android, because it's such a diverse market, you're not going to get that same coverage. So if you've got some slightly outlandish device, like I had that, the Bush phone from Argos, I would have never got a spare battery for that, not in a million years. So when the battery died, the phone's dead. So that there is that to it as well. Set off a real hornet's nest here. And also, it does come to, I am considering getting a new phone, because my phone, I've had my phone so long that the case is actually falling apart. I think that's my second case. I think I had a similar one previously.
I think you had a black one to start with. I think that's your third.
It might be my third case.
So I think you had black, and then we went Mike's unboxing blue.
Dave says, Apple repairs are pretty cheap for phones. New battery in my iPhone 12 is about 80 quid, and it takes a couple of hours in their store. Retains its IP67 rating too. Official pricing. Viali, I agree. Get rid of it. Right. Speaking of which, other bargains at the moment, there's actually a reduction on for the Mac Mini M4. I'm kidding. But there is. Look at my text, see what else. Bargains and what else? So Fixwot, Crucial Pro we've done. Oh, Keychron. If any of you are interested in a Keychron keyboard or mouse, such as the actually very nice M3. I don't know why I don't use this more actually. It's because I'm, again, a little bit of a brand snob at times. I like to keep all the things the same. So MSI PC, MSI mouse. Asus PC, Asus mouse. But if you like a, where's the on-off button? There we go. Nice little RGB mouse, high refresh rate, high polling rates, all that kind of usual stuff. Very easy to use, very nice, and yeah, you can certainly notice when you've got a nice mouse. These are 20% off at the moment. So the Keychron M3, normally $49.99. That is wireless Bluetooth and also Wi-Fi, and also I think it's 2400 DPI. Very, very nice, accurate mouse. Currently $39.99. Links for that are also in the video description. And also they've got a load of deals on for the Keychron keyboards. So if you've watched Jay's 2 cents latest video on the Keychron, I think he got a Q, one of the Q range. Yeah, if you've watched that video, it's actually quite an entertaining one, because when you see someone in the YouTube kind of space who's got massive following, you do expect them to have a slightly more wider knowledge than they sometimes appear to. And this is one of those things where Jay said he's not really into keyboards and custom keyboards, all that kind of stuff. And Keychron keyboards are basically, they're that intermediate step. So you've got like all your brands, you've got your Corsairs, you've got your Asus, MSIs, and you've got some kind of more entry-level mechanical keyboards. But then you get the Keychron stuff, which is kind of basically custom. So you can completely build a Keychron keyboard from the base layer upwards. PCB, switches, stabilizers, keycaps, basically everything. You can customize the whole lot. Or you can get them pre-built. So if you don't want to go for that hassle, you can just get one which is put together. And it's about the same price anyway. So they're really nice keyboards. They're before you get to like stupid price keyboards anyway. And there is a feature on a lot of modern keyboards where they have a silicon dampener. So to get that kind of nice thocky deep sound that you get from switches, they often have a silicon layer in between the deck. So Jay's 2 cents was doing the review of the keyboard, and he was pressing down on the key switches and the deck was flexing. The actual surround wasn't. The actual PCB was flexing in the silicon, as it's designed to do, because as you type in, it absorbs those noises. So yeah, he went through and did all that stuff, and then he's like, right, I'm going to mod it. And he basically wanted to mod it to stop the silicon pad doing its job. So basically making it rock solid, which is not what you want, especially if you're typing for a long time, because you want it to absorb the key presses and striking. So yeah, there was that.
Hey Dave.
So yeah, if you watch that, then
Oh, you were wet.
it's quite interesting to see. You'd think that because the little guy that is on there with him, I can't think what his name is off the top of my head, the one who laughs all the time. Can't think, but he's into custom keyboards, so you'd think he would kind of be aware of that and go, Jay, stop talking. You're being daft.
Dave, stop talking.
Dave, stop talking as well. Paul Lamont says Keychron Q6. I believe it was. David, many happy returns on your birthday. Bless you. Yeah, so yeah, it was the Keychron Q6, I believe it was. So again, it's one of those things that it's a little bit cringe, but it's not. I worry when I'm doing reviews if I say something which is like obviously wrong, I do try and address it or update the video or cut a part out of the video if I said something like stupid. I think Jay's going to fall into that thing where he wants to get into something, he doesn't know quite enough about it, or he hasn't even read the description of the product. He's just like, shelf, money, thanks. More money equals more good. Dave, come on up. Come on in. Here comes Dave. Dave, how you doing? Oh, you're soaking wet. Yeah, you are.
You got granny, don't you? Come
Absolutely soaking. So anyway, Keychron, what I was getting to the point, there are some sales on. And actually, if I put the link in, so I can copy that. They got some really good prices, and also you can get a discount code, because we have got a discount code with Keychron, Keychron UK. Doesn't work on the US ones, I don't think. You can try it. They might still ship from there anyway, but give it a go. So links are in there. Also power supplies, the Fractal Design Ion Gold 500 watt. That is currently on offer at, I think it was £55, which that's a lot of power supply for the money. If you don't need like ultra high wattage, that is going to be a good one. And typical, not enough.
on. You get in front of the fire and dry off.
Too many words.
Flamey.
Let's try that. There we go. So I'll put a link in for that. Some of you might find that useful. We did the MSI thing, didn't we? Lancool 27, done all that. Right, mate? What's going on? You like the M3? Which one? This one? Which one's better, Dave? Logitech or Keychron? Touch which box? Touch the best one. What are you looking for? You're not looking for Asus, are you? Dave, which one? Logitech? Keychron? Logitech? Keychron? Trying to get a sensible word out of him is just hard work. It really is.
Hey, Poppy.
Anyway, I think we have probably exhausted the conversation for tonight. And if you've got any last minute questions, quickly get them in now. But say some thanks to those of you in the chat. Obviously, thanks for your continued support, your patronage and all that stuff.
Dutch John said Phil for that little man.
Phil, that's it. I know the one. I'll put some links in chat. So premium CD keys, actually, quick update on premium CD keys. If you normally use premium CD keys, at the moment, it seems that they're not able to use PayPal as a payment option. So I'm not sure how long it's going to last for. It happened before. They had some disagreement with PayPal. I think it's because premium CD keys are, I'm pretty sure they're based in Canada. At least that's where their registered office is. So I'm not too sure what's going on there. But yeah, for some reason they've got into some kind of dispute with PayPal. Whatever. You're still able to use debit cards and crypto and all that kind of stuff if you want to. So if you are using that, potentially you might not see the option for PayPal at the moment. I think it'll come back because it happened before. They had a falling out with PayPal over something and it got reinstated about a couple of weeks later. So anyway, just wanted to give you the heads up on that. You can save an absolute fortune with premium CD keys, as some of you already know. Windows license keys for around about €3, which is absolutely nuts. So if you want to get a cheap Windows 10 key to activate your Windows 11 for Thanksgiving or for Christmas, keep it in the back of your mind, premiumcdkeys.com/Mike's Unboxing. Use discount code Mike's Unboxing, you get even more money off. And also, if you're possibly going for an Office machine, or you want to use Office, Microsoft Office Professional Plus version 2021, I think it is, around like 12 quid, which is awesome if you need to use Outlook or Excel, etc. Also, there's a super chat from our good pal Mark Gaines. Thank you very much, Mark Gaines, for your £20. That's very generous of you. We're getting towards the Intel 265K. We're almost there. I should have a GoFundMe. I have a GoFundMe for Antec as well, if they don't bloody answer their emails, the bastards. Don't forget, if you are watching this, Nick Barnes says Premium CD Keys offers MS Office for €10, or same version, €3, but it says phone. Has anyone tried it? I haven't, no. That'd be an interesting one. I might make a video on that.
Keith McAllister suggests we find ways to protect our gear from EMP.
Funny enough, there is a new an American late night talk show that I listen to where they were advertising a product called the EMP Shield. I don't quite understand how that works, but I have looked at that. But yeah, I see where you're headed with that, especially with the recent goings on, which I thought that was going to be all knocked on the head after November the 5th, if you get where I'm coming from. But unfortunately, it seems that we're going the other way. Xpun3414 says the new Intel CPUs are having troubles now as well. Shake my head. Yeah, hopefully that gets rectified soon. If it does, I'll be here standing up for Intel, the underdog. It sounds weird saying that Intel are the underdog. I didn't think we'd ever get here, but it's by their own fault. They had opportunities for a long, long time to sort things out rather than just keep on rehashing the same crap over and over and over and over and over and over again until they basically broke it. But hopefully now with this new architecture, if they can get the coders on board, they can get the Microsoft operating system to kind of fully leverage the new architecture, sort out the memory latency, possibly change some of the BIOS settings. You all right, Dave? What do you want to say? Are you good? He's good. Sorry. Dave is resting. Yeah, if they can sort all that out, I think Intel, potentially you're going to... You got a twitchy tail? That's me, sorry. You're still wet. All over my mouse pad.
Look at his feet. Look at his feet jam.
Look at his feet. He has got the hairiest of feet. Look at that. Toe jam extreme. He's got longer hair on his feet than I've got on my back. Or my head. And here comes Poppy Dora. Hey, Pops. Anyway, Dave has a hard life, he certainly does, doesn't he? Bless his heart. Necromania, how you doing? Good to see you. Michael Durant says, enjoying my 9800X3D. I do like in AMD what they've done, and they've done so well. It's a shame really that AMD haven't done stronger with their graphics card line. Hopefully that'll be coming full circle soon as well. It looks like they got some interesting products coming up.
Poppy.
David Aiken says, night, Mike, Catherine, Cats. And Dave, it's good to see you at home again with the little one. Hopefully she's on the road to recovery. I forgot to mention that earlier. Dave looks like a rag doll. He does.
He behaves like one, to be honest. And he's very, very soft.
He does.
He's like
He is like a rag doll.
He's like rabbit fur, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's really soft fur.
He is very soft. He's a great...
He's not Corsair.
He is a lovely cat. He really is. I am truly blessed to have this little monkey. And I. You alright?
He's your cat now, isn't he?
Yeah. Quite often he'd come in and he'd be in a room and he'd just be like led on his back.
Go on,
All
Dave,
fours
do
in
it.
the air. Go on, Dave. Just chill. You do it now.
No, anyone needs to.
He just goes just airing his monkey out. Aren't you?
He does it every day at least.
Dave is waiting for the Intel comeback. Yeah. What is Poppy doing to that box? She is... Well, she
has a
basically...
bite conflict.
She has a bite conflict. So she's biting the cardboard and then tearing off little bits of it.
And then she rests her chin out of the lower area of the box.
And then she's carved out like a little neck rest mantle. Anyway, I'm wittering on now. Thank you all so much for your kindness, your support, and leaving likes on the videos and watching all the content. Don't forget, if you want to be entered into any of the giveaways, don't put win in the comment of this video. Head over to the video of the product you want to win and then put a comment in there. So the link for the MSI keyboard, the MSI portable monitor, the Pro MP161E2. That video is live. It's listed in the video description. Head over there, put the comment or put the word win somewhere in your comment and you'll be entered into the draw. It's a worldwide giveaway, so knock yourselves out. If you're interested in getting one of these fantastic monitors, then please do enter. Again, massive shout out Colin Hilton for supplying that, and also the Lian Li case, which will coming up on a giveaway that should be out this week. Also, again, massive shout out to Andy Archer for sending over the Corsair all-in-one cooler and also the Amazon gift card voucher as well. So that potentially will be a runner-up prize for that video. I think that's it. Hopefully you've enjoyed the stream. If you have, smash the like button. If you want to see more content like this on a daily basis, maybe consider hitting subscribe and the chime notification. That way you'll be notified of future video releases. But for now, I've been Mike, that's been Dave, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching, and good night.
Davey wave.
Bye. Whoa! Watch out, you're going to roll over onto Monkey Boy. What are you doing? Wait. Oh, God. Dave, that's not the ending I wanted. This is not going to be... You're not going to eat me, are you?
He's got the loudest purr, sorry.
Come on, Dave. I'm sorry. Good night, everyone. Catch you later. Have a great weekend. And, yeah, for those of you that we won't see until after the fact, happy Thanksgiving to all of our American nephews. And God bless you all. Am I allowed to say that? Probably not. What the hell? Does that button work? No, that didn't work. I haven't programmed that button in. I've got an exclamation mark. Thanks, everyone. Catch you in the next one. Happy Thanksgiving to all those that celebrate. See you later. Bye.